Here we go.
I don't even work there anymore, and I'm just filled with jealousy.
All right.
My first day, I would never go back, and I'm like, and that was it. No, but good job.
Welcome back once again, everyone, to Disney Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your Dungeon Master, August Schmidt, and with me is the Order of the Imagineers. Say hello, everybody. Last we saw the Imagineers, terrifying things were happening. Following Gazerbeam and Ursula into the sewers, traveling through these moldy, dirty pipes, fighting through the eels to gain back not only Edmode, but now free Demona, who knows where she is, though, because, again, she is very wary of humans and would not be around. Goliath a little heartbroken. Lilith then banishing Ursula to a from when she came. Mr. Incredible slamming Gazerbeam into the knives, and Gazerbeam and Mr. Incredible and Thumbelina both then taking the Horseman's rings.
You missed 1 week.
Yeah.
You missed 1 week.
I mean, your fault.
This happened twice now.
Everyone else is at level 17 now, actually.
Like, we're level 20. And we got a witch spell.
And the funny thing is, Meg isn't the biggest pusher.
And of course, you were all able to make it safely out, having with casting the Dispel Magic on the ring, and both Patient Zeros being dead, the plague of Sumani City that threatened the world has passed. Last we saw, Thumbelina, you were passing out as everyone's kind of like slowly, climbing back up that spiral staircase, probably, getting back, because the last thing you did see before leaving was the horned head of the lady that Thumbelina, you knew her, and we're going to get into that real quick because of something interesting. Thumbelina, we are going to dream. And to dream. But specifically, and this is what I'm going to ask you, it's going to be a little your past role playing, if you're okay with that, kind of like how you would respond. Thumbelina, as you stumble into unconsciousness, after taking that damage psychically from being linked to this disease, being resurrected, seeing your sister, now definitely, though, in a much more humanoid form, but you know her face. In fact, most of you were able to see your facial features, figure, like the way your nose are positioned. It's one of those, yeah, you're definitely siblings. And that's a lot to take in. And you passed out.
Remind me, is she my older or my younger sister?
She called you younger sister. So, Thumbelina, we go back now. You are in Pixie Hollow. You see the sun is starting to rise. Fairies, pixies floating every which way. You are standing next to a tall fairy, long flowing, that kind of blondish hair, but almost auburn. Same sharp features as you. You recognize this as your mother. You have your mother. You know her as Raina. Or mom, right? But to everyone else, this is Queen Raina, Queen of the Fairies. This is thousands of years ago. To give you that perspective of the last time anyone saw this fairy queen alive, a good coming up on 10,000 years almost had passed. You're with Raina, and you look, and you're not alone. You do see next to you is your sister Moonbeam, your older sister Moonbeam, and your younger sister Starlight. And, of course, and you know yourself as Petalbud. That's you. This is
Starlight, Moonbeam,
Petalbud. As you're saying, the day's starting, you hear your mother in that just very musical voice, just, daughters, see now, Pixie Hollow, see how every fairy has their job, their purpose, but none are unhappy. We each find joy in this world by what we can do. You see your younger sister, Starlight, is definitely not paying attention. She's kind of like fiddling with the spell in her hands, right? Like stars and you stop it. Your mom just kind of turned out. Stop, Starlight. Focus. You, Starlight, stop spell. Yes, mother. And when your mom turns around again, she like does that jab into your arm, just like I told you. You see, Moonbeam kind of just has that playful laugh, you know. I mean, she's the oldest, and so it's just fun. You kind of like are seeing going throughout this day. You follow your mom to meetings, overseeing new buildings, different spells, crops, and agriculture, and everything is just so beautiful and peaceful. At one point in this day, you find yourself alone with Moonbeam. Your mom took the two of you aside. I'm taking your younger sister. We're going to go oversee the current tinkers of the fairies. You know, some new different weapons and. Who? Mom looks very confused. Anyway, I'm taking your sister. Your younger sister needs a little more guidance. Would the two of you kindly go talk to the Mason fairies in the building of the new wing of the castle in the portraits? And so you and your sister are kind of, it's simple business. You've never once been like overwhelmed by this. It's a classic, hey, we're here. We're, you know, the heirs apparent, you know, Moonbeam being the oldest, but you'll still have political power. And it's just this very, as you're going through the day watching these fairies putting these beautiful, the glass is stained glass, but it seems to like shimmer and like shift into scenes of fairies of battles old, magic that was first discovered, and even scenes of what has always been hypothesized as the first fairy, when a child laughed and that laughter just beautifully bloomed into a fairy, this being of pure light and goodness. Moonbeam turns to you, just asking, Petalbud, how are you doing today?
Oh, you know, the usual. Nothing too exciting happening, huh?
Yeah, you know, nothing really happens in Pixie Hollow, but maybe that's best. We don't have to worry about the world. We don't have to worry about humans and their problems.
True. Part of me wonders what it'd be like to go help the humans.
Interesting. You see, Moonbeam just kind of like, it's not disgust, but very just confused. Why would you want to help a human? They're so mean and violent and honestly kind of stinky. Like, let's be honest. They don't bathe nearly often enough. You both kind of laugh. They're humans. I mean, honestly, Petalbud, they're just. That's such an interesting thought. Why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
Rapunzel's not there.
I will stop. I don't know, because their world is so terrible and ours seems so wonderful. What would hurt to help them understand how to improve their world the way we've improved ours?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Oh.
That'll be. I like that. That's.
And then she changes the timeline, and we never get the guys.
No, not at all.
11
Love
plus
as long as it's actually a good
3, so
14. You see Moonbeam just giving them what we have. I've never thought about that.
Give them magic, because
No, of
humans
course
would
not.
totally ruin the
Can you
world.
imagine a human with magic? They would untold destruction. But Petalbud, you know, don't tell Starlight. You are kind of the smartest of us three. That's maybe we should think about one day outreach, or at least.
What if we became, instead of one monarch, we split the crown and became 2?
You see Moonbeam kind of puts that hand on her shoulder, just good luck explaining that to Mother. But it would be lovely to rule with you. We're going to cut now, unfortunately. You know, we cut.
Then you wonder how she became Maleficent.
Petalbud or Thumbelina, this is now your mother, scenes flash by of your life so crisp now than ever before, of your mother explaining how the entity of pure evil, Chernobog, has started climbing his way into the overworld. How all the armies, you and your sisters, this is huge. This has never happened. Fairy kind is going to war for truly every race, human, dwarf, elf, mermaid, anyone who is fighting is, because this is never happened. You see Pixie Hollow, everything changing around you, no longer this place of just tranquility, but of harsh war, training regiments, fighting, whereas before, weapons and magic were created merely for scientific purposes. And you see this whole time, your older sister, Moonbeam, becoming very well acquainted with being this commander. A side you've never seen before. As you're growing now in these years, you see her not harsh, but very hardened. The way she directs fairies into battle, how she starts crafting her magic. She's always been great at transmutation and evocation. I mean, you do great with illusory and even abjuration, but the way she's able to change herself in battle, it almost instantly, you watch as you battle some of these initial waves of demons and monster that breathe forth. She's able to swoop from the battle, cleave off head with a sword, shift and contort her body until she's a giant constrictor snake, swallowing another set, or immediately just weaving through destruction in battle. All this time, your younger sister, Starlight, honestly just like struggling to keep up. She was never a warrior. And even for yourself, well, this is a question. Thumbly, do you think you would have been that warrior?
I scared
I scare you, so yeah. No, and so, Petalbud, you and Moonbeam, you are leading this charge. Your mother, of course, being head of the fairy armies, you are laying waste to these armies, yes.
Would the queen have seen my sister as destructive and me as constructive and changed where the royalty line would have gone because she was afraid of it?
Your mother, what she sees is you both. Again, Moonbeam was efficient. Everything, the way your sister was able to just rout enemies and end battles was unparalleled. Even for you, you could, send armies, waves of fear to just completely stop, but she could do it even faster. It was terrifying, but your mother did admire it, and she was proud of you. In fact, we'll cut to, you are now out of Pixie Hollow. You are standing on top of a castle. This is just some local regent, a king of not really importance to you, just some human. As you see, the battlefield before you the day was won before dawn even broke. Your mother sitting there I'm very proud of you both. Soon we must win this war, but we must win it fast. Can I count? You see she turns to you both very seriously now, no longer looking at the field. Can I count on both of you, should the worst happen, to take my place?
Both of us.
I trust you both. You need to lead this world into peace by whatever means necessary.
I would look at my sister, we'll nod at each other.
And you both must promise me one other thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Starlight is family. You must protect her as well. As you nod, we now see this final, as you see dark mountain stretching before you, wings seeming to unfurl, and lightning and thunder crash in red and black bolts of energy. You see this monstrous form trying to take shape. Literally, as these ethereal claws rip the air, they seem to become flesh and bone for but moments, as Chernobog desperately tries to gain this world. Petalbud, you look around, you see bodies everywhere of any race and size. There is no distinction in this heat of battle. You see phalanxes being rallied. Behind you, panting, very gross looking scar that possibly was poisoned. Starlight has this wound on her shoulder. She's standing by you, breathing heavily. You see charging forward a full legion of orc, fresh from whatever reserves in whatever layer of Tartarus they came from. And as they charge forward, you look behind as crashing in front of you, literally bolt of lightning and thunder in this impressive just you see Moonbeam just break sound barrier as she raises her hand. You see it glints. Each of these orcs start bubbling and shaping, growing in size. You see she takes the same hand then, takes it, and as you notice, strugglers on the battlefield instantly become withering and decaying skeletons, just dropping as they stand as life force is drained out of them. You see Moonbeam turn, look at you, and she looks down at Starlight, and you realize in that moment, or go ahead and roll me an insight check, actually.
This is Moonbeam doing this, right?
This is Moonbeam. This is your older sister, Moonbeam. Suddenly, these orcs are getting stronger, and your allies are weaker.
What was it?
Insight.
Insight? 22.
22.
Oh wait, no, that's a 19. It's a crit.
That crits, yeah, because you've got that amazing stuff. I will say, for the purposes of this, you wouldn't technically have the stone yet, but that doesn't matter. You see in Moonbeam's eyes the very stark, they weren't supposed to see that. Up above, you see a shooting star just arcing towards the peak. The radiant glow of her wings, you see your mother, Reyna, blast into Chernobog's form. As you see these figures of what looks to be a creature with large ears, one lanky holding a shield and sword, another with battle axe, as thunder just rips through the mountainside as Chernobog starts fading into mist, as more mountain seems to grow up around him into what we now know as the Horn. You see Moonbeam looks at this. You see in this insight fear, but not for you, fear of what is happening. She turns, points a finger, and immediately kills Starlight. You watch as tendrils of dark energy reach out, and just screaming, Starlight falls to the ground, dead. You see Moonbeam, lightning crackling as this glowing black and green energy starts slowly seeping on her fingers. She looks up at you. You once told me that we should bring our power and wisdom to the world. Will you do this with me now?
No. Do not. I will not follow you if you can.
Then you are weak. You go immediately. You reach out with your finger and pull some deep, gross, unsettling magic inside you as tendrils of light blast as they link. You see your light start to crackle as it reaches back to you, and you feel then a sudden boost. You see on the ground, with her literal blood draining from her, not going to make it, Starlight pushing her energy into you as it collapses in and over Moonbeam. You see her eyes, stark and black, as this energy builds around her. As you blast her into who knows what. You don't really know what spell you just cast. As just it shatters. As the light fades, as you see Starlight crumple to the ground, you hear a flutter of wings. And you realize that Ravenfeather, the royal advisor, flies up to you. He looks at you, sees Starlight, doesn't see Moonbeam. More and more fairies immediately start flitting over from the battlefield. You realize with that crit, 2 things on this insight. When your mother asked you both to rule, this was never official. That if the fairy nation learned that the heir apparent had not only turned but killed her sister, that homicide of just taking that life, that would rock everything in Pixie Hollow. This has never been done. That's something not even thought of. And you have a choice. You could either tell everyone what happened, or, like they all saw, you cast a spell, you didn't know what it was doing, and it killed your sisters by accident.
And seeing as I'm out of Pixie Hollow, I know which choice I would have made. I was banished, so I would choose to let them assume what they would have assumed, and I would have run.
You watch Ravenfeather. You see, no insight check needed. He doesn't believe this for a second. As he watches you fly away, skirting across the ground, fairies gathering by Starlight's body, from where Moonbeam vanished, other fairies just openly weeping as the queen has sacrificed herself for this cause. You feel those hot streaks of tear in your eye as you just push past. Years upon centuries upon millennia pass in instances of traveling the world, being a hermit, staying, eventually meeting this princess, having one of these lords come to you, giving you this star, entrusting you with this sacred key, and keeping Chernobog away as they knew what sacrifice you made, being with this princess' side, helping her realize your dream. You see so much of this sister who has these older sisters that mistreated her and wanting her to have a better life. You solely see, for the sake of this, the life of the fairy godmother, as we know from Cinderella, of what you then were, this roaming fairy tale of a kind and benevolent fairy that somehow, for some reason, left Pixie Hollow, who grants wishes that no one could even dream of. You awaken in the embassy hall.
Wait, question.
Yes.
The star, did it go back? Because I feel like I missed that part of it, because the fairy godmother died.
When she died, the star was taken. What you remember, and from what they've told you, the star then was taken by the evil queen and Jafar and Shan Yu, in that desperate attempt to unlock that prison, and was then hence taken back from the lords when they met you in France to, go about their secret mission.
Okay, so the lords have it currently.
Yes, currently they have that star.
I couldn't remember, because I remember them having it, but I couldn't remember how it got there. Okay.
You wake up in this embassy immediately. Most of you all are in, probably just this, it's Snow's room, but, cots have been brought in. You're all bandishing. Healers are in. Not a lot. There's only, these 2 guys. One, this little satyr. Another, kind of what may be a half-elf. As doctors and healers are thin. Thumbly, you awaken as the rest of your party is all in here, too. You awaken to hear that laughter, which, for so many thousands of years, was the most comforting, sisterly thing in your heart.
Ooh.
And now realize it is the laughter of a woman who wants to destroy the world.
That's right, buddy.
You're welcome. Yes, Goliath.
What time is it?
Fun fact, it has actually been the way, it is now the next sunset. You have all, it's been a long rest throughout the day, basically.
Okay. That's good, because that battle was rough on Jim.
Oh, really rough on Jim. He really got it.
You died twice, right? During the whole
No,
Jim.
you want to know what my headcanon is? He was supposed to be guarding the cauldron, and somebody held out on the job. He just walked in and took it.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright.
Jim, as you were standing
Actually,
guard,
yeah.
the last thing you saw was a fist coming to your face, and then you blacked out.
Oh, that's fine.
They would have gotten the jump
He's
on
just
you.
a rogue.
It's
Also,
not like
you're
you're a
not-
paladin or some barbarian. Like,
He's
if
just
someone
a
can
rogue.
outsneak you, I mean, crap. Anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted to take care of an order of business while we were still in the sewers.
Mm.
With Mr. Incredible, I don't. It is literally almost impossible to find a level 20 cleric, and they just need to
Oh,
rest.
right.
I would agree.
They
And I'm
just
really
need what?
surprised that Lilith
You just need to
understands
rest.
death can be a good thing sometimes.
They need
you
to
just
die.
need to let them go. Is what she said.
When the life cleric understands the importance of death.
Yeah.
I'd be down to roleplay.
The zombie horde of
No, this
sewers.
is all what Meg just said.
Yeah. It's solid.
I
Wasn't
mean,
it we already decided you were gonna let the zombie horde rest anyway?
No, he was gonna
The
try
last
to-
is you could have just kept them there in the sewer until you had found a cleric. It's just
Yeah.
knowing what you could have even been told,
Maybe we're even
or
having this conversation.
from-
in the evening.
yeah, like,
we
while
need
this
to go down there.
is
he's like,
right now, what you're learning quickly, Mr. Incredible, is with everything, with the curse broken in the city, people are now actually able to heal, but everyone's still in this very gross, unhealthy state. You know, the virus had basically almost killed everyone. You know, a few more turns, who knows how fast people could have started dying with
Yeah.
Ursula really at the helm of this ring.
You're welcome.
I'm like, just, all right, you're welcome. I got that. And so that is the choice right now is,
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what my character would do, because honestly, I feel like my character would like want to save the supers just because, especially in
were
this
your
fragile
buddies.
state, the city, not even just because they were my buddies, but the city's in a pretty fragile state coming back from the virus.
But wouldn't it be better to tell them the truth rather than be like, just wait here for a couple
Well, he
weeks?
did explain what
he
was
did
happening.
explain. He
what
did
level
explain.
are you right now? What level are you right now?
14.
Give
It's
it a few months. You'll...
well, and I would even say it's not impossible to find a level 20 cleric, but the ones that
Because I
would be
could
in the
revive
city
any of the
are
bodies.
probably going to be very busy, at least for a month, right? And just like constant, you know, greater restoration, greater heal wounds, mass heal wounds, right? Like,
Well, and it's not like this was every super in the city. They're not.
that's
totally
true.
defenseless.
There are still some younger heroes.
Okay.
You've heard stories that there's like some girl that can stretch doing some things, helping out, like some little things here and there,
Yeah, but what kind of power is that?
right? Like utterly ridiculous. If you're
I
just
think that
rubbery.
is the thought. The old supers, obviously there's some corruption in there. I mean, we have our dear friend Laserbeam. Not that, I mean, he's probably accepting to the rule. But isn't it time to let the old supers die out and let the new generation take forward? They're going
Whoa.
to make a lot of mistakes.
Let the past die.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just get rid of the
It's kind of
Justice
like-
League and just leave it to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, right? No.
I mean, but
This
in
is
all honesty, that's what we do in jobs all the time. We have to let the older people go because they've done an amazing job. We're
They
not saying
died
they
in the line of
haven't.
service.
They died in line of
Oh,
service.
I will say,
It's
though-
time to let a new generation take control.
I will say, Mr.
Yeah.
Incredible, with the skull and crossbone ring on your finger,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you are the final call.
yeah.
This is just, I would say, this is probably what everyone talking like while bandaging and like coughing or grunting, like, oh, by the way, here's my 2 cents.
Is Snow there?
Yeah, Snow is here. She's kind of like in and out because again, she's fielding a lot of questions,
Yeah.
calls of, all right, yes, the Imagineers took care of it. Okay, let's get medical in here. Stop the evac because we can treat patients now. That kind of stuff.
Anything I can do as the plague horseman to relieve
I
the
actually
plague?
want to
Causes
say
another
something.
What you know,
I
Thumbelina.
have some cool things that nobody knows about yet from our books. We've been doing some homebrew. That's why I really.
What
love
I
these
would
investigators.
say, Thumbelina, with the ring, the kind of impression you get is because the current plague that was tied to it is gone, it has broken. So any help that could happen could no longer occur. But it was smart that it was, dispelled when it was because it probably would have just kept evolving. It was a plague. But yeah, like any sort of like reverse plague that would have still been connected to everyone affected, you still would have needed that same curse on it. So right now, unless you started making a new plague to like send out that could be beneficial, it probably wouldn't do a lot.
Just create another plague. No, I'm
Listen.
good. Okay, I just want to make sure that there was.
Yeah, no, fair question, fair question.
Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
Favorite. I'm only gonna use it once, Bob.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, like,
He's just
yes.
eating it up, relishing in it.
I didn't
You need
take
to
any
do
damage.
your responsibility and address the public and these new supers. And hear me out with, like, Snow's connections. Find a solid plot of land. Give them a good graveyard that people can come visit and memorial. That is the best thing you can do rather than prolong your life for a month and not tell the public what's going on, putting that distrust there. Because it will take approximately a month for me to find a good high-level cleric who can do more than what I can do right now.
I think Mike might actually open up a little bit
I
and be
think
like,
you'd be fine.
have you ever heard us agree before? Look,
We're on the same page.
well, I have more to say then.
Meg, quite you.
I don't do this. I never share. They were dead. This is an unnatural half-life. I saw someone die once. I brought him back, and it created more problems than it solved.
You need to respect the side.
And that's as much backstory as Meg will literally ever tell anyone. I like
That's
that.
all you get.
You see, like that kind of, I'll say that adds an air, Mr. Incredible. All of you in the room, it's that that's a pretty heavy thing to coming from the
Yeah.
former warlock of Hades.
So I have like 2 questions.
Yes.
Oh,
So the ring, can I kind of feel how it works?
As you go ahead and give me an Arcana check. There's stuff that you already would know, but let's see how far it goes.
Also, like, if you need anything more convincing, it's like, literally, my domain type is life cleric, and this is an abomination to life, because life has a name.
That's a 5.
A 5.
It's a 7
Guidance.
total.
A 7 total.
Guidance.
Guidance. Go ahead and roll a d4 with it.
I backhanded
still bantering.
Yeah. 9.
9. It's not bad. Because honestly, again,
Bardic inspiration.
I was helping him with the roll.
all right, go ahead and roll another d8, and also I'll just give it. Everyone, you'll all metagame a way to like just stack his numbers. Mr. Incredible, you reach out with the ring. It's not psychically, but you feel there is some sort of inner bond with this ring and these supers. What you realize with this is the ring can bond to your army, right? Or those under your command, whatever that may be. The kind of vibe you get is you can dispel that same then command, right? You can, basically your duty's up. And what you feel is, especially in this case, because of their condition, that would put them to rest. Because there's not, if they were more healed, yes, dismissing them, it'd be like a normal person in the army. They're now a civilian again, but for them, it would probably release them.
Okay. And then, talking with Snow, does she have any insight? Does she agree with these guys?
Snow, I'll say, if you want to ask Snow, when she runs in, this is what she could give you just in that one-on-one, just, well, look, Mr. Incredible, I think it's your choice. I'm a strong believer in personal accountability, especially in our world. These are your friends, but coming from a cleric of a goddess of life, a warlock who worked with the god of death, and just from my instinctive feeling, I think we'll be okay. And again, she immediately runs out. You feel a hand on your shoulder. Lucius is standing behind you. He has actually taken off his mask while he's here, which normally he doesn't do. You see he looks you in the eye, and uncharacteristically, you see maybe some glistening eyes as Lucius just... They served well, Bob. I think they're okay.
Okay, I'll do one more thing.
Okay. One more.
Can I see through their eyes?
You can.
Okay, so what I want to do is tell them, like, look, if you guys are ready to go to rest, close your eyes. And then if I see it go dark, then I'll let them go. If they don't, then I'm going to keep them alive. And I already told them what my plan is.
Or like on a side note,
As
like also
you watch, you, Mr. Incredible, see, it's kind of, it's one of those, like, it feels like a memory in your mind is the best way to describe it, is you're seeing different parts of the sewer, different other zombies of heroes. You watch slowly as a little bit of this vision darkens, a few more. You watch from others' perspectives, some of the eyes closing. You watch as all of them, over the course of a good minute, just slowly close their eyes. You also feel this collective breath being held, almost just that the eyes are closed, waiting.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him go.
Hey, can we go get the bodies before you let them go?
Here's your pink
You
slips.
feel
You can let go.
that just breath release. You feel that in the ring, your army has been honorably discharged as they depart.
Okay.
Um,
No,
That-
I'm not
No.
gonna cry.
This girl was too tough. Guess I'm too tough to cry.
It's
Are you tough enough to cry?
No, it's you feel that it's, but also I'll say this, Mr. Incredible, being connected to the ring, you feel that relief that it could have worked. You could have just waited, but there's nothing more honorable than falling in this line of duty for a superhero, right? They gave their life. I mean,
Yeah.
they literally gave their all to protect the city. Gazer Beam did a gross thing to them, and to know they died fighting the good fight, that's what any super like yourself would want, to know, like, hey, I made a difference. I did it. And so you feel that it's a very cathartic, again, in your mind, that feeling of, wow, it feels very peaceful. Not unrest, there's no doubt in your mind that this was a good decision.
And probably in the near future, I'm gonna want to hold a conference with all the younger supers.
Oh, interesting. Excellent.
Also, probably, like, side note, you might want to give a press release to the public, too.
That's what's on
Yes.
this.
That is kind of what's
Yeah.
Also,
Snow can
like,
agree.
Get the bodies from the sewers and not just leave them in the
Snow-
Again, there are other people who have that job.
I hate to be
Just
morose
like
about
the
this,
slides,
Lilith,
the
but
slides.
we do have the gelatinous cubes as our
Yeah.
sewage workers. They'll take care of
And
I'd like
so
to
the bodies-
let them bury
It's-
some things. These people had families.
it. But here's the problem, Lilith. With secret identities, we don't always know. I assume you might have
I'll
better
be in
connections.
contact.
I will say this. I can, Mr. Incredible, I'm holding a press release actually tomorrow, where they're gonna magically record me because we need to start throughout the world. You guys, there's a lot going on. It's a lot in the world right now. You actually then, all of you here just, well, I'll say it's a lot, but honestly, it's a lot. You turn and see three figures that just kind of materialize behind you. Some of you have never seen this dude before. A very wizened old, like, lines upon lines in his face with a beard. Classic blue robes with stars and stripes. This impressive woman standing, black hair, just very, like, solemn. And a teenage boy, maybe only 13 or 14, kind of like almost salt and pepperish hair, with a very lopsided crown sitting on his head. You see,
We still need to rest.
hello, Imagineers. How are you? How are you doing?
That's
you
concerning
alright?
Arthur.
Yeah, no, I-
restoration.
Oh no, Arthur. That was he was stuttering and choking. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll
You cast it, I'll say, and Arthur,
Well, no,
I'm not sick. I just messed up talking. Agatha says it's a good thing I can admit when I make mistakes, and so I made a mistake and I stuttered on my words.
That's not a mistake. A stutter is literally just a speech impediment.
It depends on the
I don't have a speech impediment. I
You're just a
You're not
speech
a little
impediment.
I'm going to my room.
you see,
I'm
Agatha holds up a hand. Just
Lily's
we
gone.
need to figure out our next move, if you please. Lily, please don't leave. Miss Snow, Lucius, could you give us the room? You see Snow just kind of like nods, and even Lucius like, I'm gonna go hit the streets. We need as many soups out there as possible.
This might be a little too
I
paranoid,
got you.
but can I figure out insight on like why she's vanishing like the head of the council of princesses and like this other person who's presumably trustworthy?
Go ahead. Yeah, roll an
I'm
insight.
very worried about like, oh no, she's gonna rock us all the room and kill us or something.
Go ahead. Yeah, roll an insight.
She already named her Morgana.
I'm just gonna say
Yeah, it's, she has a lot of names, to be fair.
Yeah.
What's your insight?
I see
Oh,
Meg's
let me
eyes narrow and I shoot her a guidance.
That's the D4, right? I'm gonna need that.
No, I need a perception
Oh,
roll to
okay, I'll
possibly
perception
see that. Like,
I can do it.
I'm kidding. That I mean,
Wait, Meg, have you never met this woman before?
no, she's
Oh,
been.
no,
It's
I
she just.
have. They have
It's she wants an insight into why
They
Agatha
have-
would
I
be
have
sending
a
away
plus
Lucius and
perception.
Snow.
Probably to talk to him.
With
So,
with
yeah.
a okay, so without the guidance.
Yep.
Okay, on a natural 5, I roll a grand total of a 7 insight.
Cool. Meg.
She's going to kill us.
She's literally.
We're all
She's
dead.
got to have knives somewhere. She's gonna gas the room. You're all that. No, I'll say with the 7, it might just be that like, hey, we are the Imagineers. And as much as we love Snow and Lucius, he's not necessarily Imagineer at this point.
It's that different responsibilities.
Yeah. You actually see as she turns, because the next people she was going to talk to is Flynn and Lance, who are kind of like on their own. You see they're like, oh, we'll leave, but we're right outside the door. No one leaves without our saying so, because we got to get to Corona there. You see like Lance, I can already taste that velvet cushion now. He's just like really excited about like being rich as they head off and stand outside the hall in that classic guard pose. You see Agatha closes the door. Merlin conjures up a lot of just like random like love seat / cushiony things. Some of these look very odd architecturally, I'll say. Like they don't all look like with the same theme of like, hey, you just kind of like found things from somewhere. But you all have places to sit down, recline, so it's not like anyone has to be uncomfortable, because a lot of you probably are still in that slow recovery phase. Agatha turns just. You see, now, congratulations are in order, but to my understanding, we have suffered loss. But this is not my place to say. I will let our king direct. You see, she takes a step backwards. Arthur has full deer in the headlights. Just stops until Merlin, like, awkwardly with a foot kind of pushes him forward, like, into, like, more of a, like, standing in front of you. This poor teenage boy just... well... well...
I cast Fireball.
I love just... Fireball. For those at home, no, the rogue doesn't have Fireball.
Fireball.
No. You see Arthur just kind of awkwardly stand, just... To my Imagineers and people who are now here, I might have to knight more people. You see Merlin just...
Oh, right there.
Just keep going. Arthur, well, here's the report. With the help of Merlin Morgana, we have been able to successfully keep Scar's troops outside of Magentia. But we are still working on taking care of the troops, as most other kingdoms have fallen. You see, Merlin pulls up a small little, like, illusionary map of Magentia, which I'm actually going to pull up for those wondering at home. I forgot to hook up the TV tonight.
As he pulls out that map, I'm going to pull out the map that I got out of Captain Hook's.
Oh, yeah.
So clever.
You see, go ahead. While he's going to be explaining this, I would love for you to roll me, we'll call this investigation on your map.
Guidance.
How many of those spell slots?
I'm gonna say no. This is This is a secret thing, though. He's purposely focusing on because Arthur is kind of trying to command the room, for better or for worse. You're noticing the awkward teenage boy trying to direct a war council. You see, just so as you can see in Magentia, the center of the current world, we've been able to keep most of the armies away, but as we know, Neverland has been able to easily dissuade anyone, but Agrabah, China, and most of the kingdoms to the south near the bayou have, for the most part, either fallen or have gone under complete lockdown to avoid being overthrown by the Knoll army and hyenas. You see, he kind of starts pulling out on the map. Mr. Incredible, what did you get?
14.
Ooh. You notice, you have the pins of, like, the skull and crossbone that were out near the ocean near Neverland. The poison droplet with a skull inside over Sumani that was there. You do see two interesting things. These two symbols that you're looking at do not look as vibrant as before. Before, it was one of those, oh, these are obvious pins. What you also notice is, whereas before, what looked to be a set of scales that were positioned around the west part of Magentia, like over maybe towards like Agrabah and like just above that swamplands, has now moved upwards more to the northeast. Arthur continues talking, and so this is just what you're noticing.
Yeah.
Arthur says, as we know, we still don't have the complete whereabouts, as because Scar travels with the Horned King, we have been yet to be able to pinpoint exact locations, but we have a guess.
So
Yes.
I'll cut him off, and I'll just be like, "Have you looked up in the what was it? The
Low
northwest?
battery.
The northeast.
Northeast. Have you looked up in the northeast?
You see, Arthur kind of like is flummoxed because again, like it's like giving a PowerPoint and you're like people weren't supposed to ask questions. In that, in the northeast are kingdoms with Fantelda. I will say it's not even trying to hide it, but in that like I'm still being subtle. You see Agatha like message something to Arthur, right? Like a cantrip. Arthur. Cue card, totally. Yes, in the northeast are the 7 kingdoms of Fantalda. We know them to be very discreet and seclusive, and we have not yet found reason for the armies to be there.
Did any of us notice like why Mr. Incredible was
At
suddenly
this point,
asking
I'm
us
going
now?
to lay out my map,
There we go.
and I'll be
Ooh.
like, these scales were originally down here. They've moved up there. The poison droplet was the poison here. I can't remember what the other one was.
Is the plague.
The poison option was the
Did
plague.
you
So all
even
that
know
kinda
he had this, or
illustrated-
is this news to all
This
of us?
is
I feel
kinda
like, well,
news to
snap,
most
I'm
of you.
like, why didn't
Is that
you tell us this
snap?
earlier?
Wait, we didn't.
It's kind of like
I have like Archie
Yeah,
versus
uh,
Snap in your possession.
before you can answer, Arthur just. That's amazing. You have a magical map that can pinpoint locations.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that makes my life so much easier. Wow. That's scary. Okay,
You just have to say, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
No,
And then it
don't.
works. Oh my God.
Go ahead and roll deception on this kid. He's gonna roll insight. No, no.
Say this at the beginning when he started pulling out.
Yeah, I mean,
What was
like,
it? Deception.
deception.
13.
You're lying to Arthur.
What?
Arthur totally just. Yeah. Okay.
Did anybody notice he was live?
It's not.
Oh,
Yeah. As you all erupt into just groans and you see Arthur just. Well, this is what's scary. I don't.
I appreciate it.
He said,
Jim appreciates it.
I'm not sure why, as he looks at this map, Merlin having orientated, so your map and now this more holographic are over. I'm not sure why, though, he's going there. You see Agatha has raised a finger.
Immortal object?
Where's the horn?
Sorry.
Everybody
But
looks.
everyone's trying to get you there, and you're this all-powerful.
Well, I mean, you're
You
like
see,
everything
uh,
else now.
Agatha has raised a finger. Just, I have a theory onto why this might be the last location. Historically, the 7 kingdoms of Fantalda have, in fact, been one ripe with violence and war. Yes.
Where is the horn located?
The horn is just a little bit south of these kingdoms. You see these kingdoms, as Agatha goes on, kind of like zooming in, just these kingdoms have always been a very proud people of interesting nations and nationalities, for better or for worse. You see she kind of just starts going through. We have, obviously in Magentia, this being the capital, but if there ever were to be a rival, it would be Fantalda if the kingdoms could ever cooperate or do this. But because of their less than amiable feelings towards one another, doubtful. We have, of course, some of you know Corona. You see she zooms in. Of course, a bit to the east, we have Arendelle, which New Arendelle and Old Arendelle, they've started merging into a new kingdom, so that is still there of the 7. There's, of course, the Moors, where we have our own Princess Aurora, Equus, Zootopia, Maldonia, and Saporia. for those that know Disney canon Entangled, yeah, she starts naming 7. Each of these having their own, but everyone has their issues. You see, of course, she kind of zooms in. Maldonia, coming more along the coastline, is where we have more of our sea elves, and the Moors, the high elves, will have nothing to do with the sea elves, whereas in Equus, these are wood elves who have now become more cavalier and ride with their horses, and no one likes them. Of course, Arendelle is just kind of a bit pompous at times. Seporia isn't always known for being the most hospitable, and there's a bit of dark superstition, being more of a kingdom filled with more tiefling and demonic race origin. And of course, Zootopia, it's animals. There's a lot of animal people there. And
Wild place.
So literally, the country with the animals is named Zootopia?
They chose it, not us.
Okay.
yeah, I don't
I'm
think...
sorry, I'm new to this. Forgive me.
Things have really changed a lot.
Goliath just like, this is new.
Don't study geography in the backwoods of Neverland.
You know, if-
I don't
like
want
that didn't say before
August.
Jim, I'll say, yeah, Jim, for you, it's like, yeah, cool. All right,
Okay.
yeah, a bunch of
Yeah.
people don't like each other. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm making an attack roll against Meg because she just said the back.
You're not punching me for the third time! This is
punching at you.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. I gotta allow it. What's your armor class? You would have no mage armor right now.
Would I not?
Because it's technically...
It's normally a 30.
Guidance on myself.
Here, can I grab Lily as she's lunging at me?
Go ahead and make a strength check.
Absolutely not.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I guidance myself beforehand.
Crap. Not one.
Okay. What'd you get? I saw that. Nah.
Well, okay. So
That original roll wasn't great with that 4. I mean, guy, the 4's gonna help, but
Josh, it's an attack.
Yeah.
So it's 6 plus 4 plus
10.
3.
so 13. You get a slap in.
I
Oh no, someone said something offensive. I'm gonna hurt them.
Yes!
That's how we solve our differences.
You see, Agatha, this is my point exactly.
Oh.
You are all vastly different people, all with different backgrounds and wants and wishes. And you, honestly, it's surprising that none, if not all of you, have just died.
I mean,
Yes.
some of us.
Some believe.
And I tried to kill one.
multiple times. Well,
I
if
did.
it's, my sister,
She was
so like,
Oh, right.
we don't
Got
know
married.
is the Horn Queen.
Arthur, Queen? As Agatha just... I have
Maybe
hypothesized.
in the past, they have attempted to awaken Trinabot. Could that be where they are headed?
That's in fact a very strong possibility. Here is why I think it's not next in their docket. Each of these horsemen were specifically created to weaken the country. Obviously, Hook was meant to be that initial fighting force. Thankfully, you were able to take him down before he and his pirates were able to cause too much damage over the world. But, as we know, Ursula and her disease has shaken Sumani, and if not most of the trade in the world to its core. Scar and his armies have ravaged the land, between their sieges and just guerrilla tactics. Food and energy is scarce. And of course, we know of Death being your sister. She has, quite honestly, basically accomplished what she wants. Here's why I think she is going for these kingdoms, but why she didn't go there first. These 7 kingdoms are alone very easy, but if they were together, they provide a fighting force. But if you do that soon, more can help. We could have sent the armies there first, and Scar's armies would have been waylaid, having to fight both the 7 kingdoms and the Royal Magensian Guard, and therefore having failed his mission. By leaving them last, even if they unite, which for historical purposes might also be very hard, anyone who wants can actually roll me a history check real quick as she finishes.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, you wouldn't really notice. She says, with these kingdoms, with Scar's army being able to take them out last, like you are saying, Miss Thumbelina, once they have those kingdoms, they could simply be ready to march onto the Horn. But they must make sure they are defeated before trying to free the Demon Lord.
Could we send a message? Snow has her amazing birds. Could she send a message to the Seven Kingdoms to convince them to bring them together and meet with us, their rulers, in a central location, and then we could talk to them about what's going on and see if they'll band together.
Who here? Oh, with that. So as you said, who here? What was history rolls? People?
I got a 7.
I got a
7,
seven with wisdom.
6, 3,
16.
10.
16, 10.
Not one.
That one.
I got 5.
5. Actually, Goliath, with the 16, here's what you
I've
might
been in stone
know.
for 1,000 years, people.
You know,
With the 1,000 years, last you had heard, so Goliath, you're thinking back on this while they're talking.
See, it's history
When-
for us, but
yeah.
it's literally like modern news for
Like,
you.
with
It's like
Goliath-
last
Wait,
week.
I have a question. I was alive for tens of thousands of years. Do I really need to roll a history check?
Oh, I'll say no, you can roll with advantage, because your memories are coming back. You would have a stronger bond with...
That's an 8.
Alright. Goliath, with your 16, do you remember back a week ago, or just like when you were remembering, these kingdoms were always at war, there was always things, but something you had heard, something that seemed quite impossible for humankind, and of course they weren't all human, but it's still, they had reached some uneasy accord. And you remember, it stuck out to you, I'll say with the 16, it got high enough that that's what stuck out, because it wasn't a peace treaty, and it wasn't a one kingdom has written, there was an accord. There was something written that had, like, basically a sudden stop. And so, I'm going to say you probably don't know what it was, but that's what you remember, is something happened. And so with Emily, well, but if we were to send messages to the Seven Kingdoms, well, they have some interesting rules going on there. I don't know how easy it would be for us to try to gather them.
what rules?
So now I just split up again.
These kingdoms, before brink of extinction, one of their rulers came forward and made a decree. Who here is familiar with the term novus lex?
New
I know
life.
That's Latin, and Goliath, now you remember this.
Wait, I know all languages.
You know all languages too, so here's what the three of you... Novus lex means the new rule. Goliath, you remember this because... Quite crazy, and it's like, oh man, but it will never work everywhere. It was basically, hey, we all agree because we can't conquer each other without dying, but we don't want to get crapped on, right? Like, we don't want to be invaded. There will be a rotation of heirs that can then unite us under not one banner but one purpose, but then immediately then moving on. So you know this, and you can explain that actually if you'd like.
Yeah, so I'm going to explain that to everybody.
Just go, by the way.
So now we need to find the next heir that can unite all the kingdoms.
Hey, I just want to throw this out.
You immediately knocked it, leaning against the door, Flynn. Did someone say they need an heir? Hi, Flynn Rider, everyone. Nice to meet you. I do
Shove him
try.
back out.
You shut up. Close the door. You see Agatha just...
I'm mildly surprised I can walk down from the room or something.
These are rogues. They can kind of listen where they want.
No, I was just surprised that I could do try the whole
You see Agatha just...
Dolphin.
All right, that was... What? Rule? What?
They think she's a
They
princess
think
from
that she's
there.
a princess of Corona.
They think that I'm from Corona. They
Do
think
any of
that
you have identification or royal blood search or any spells?
Belton
or something?
identified just
hold
thought
on,
that she was
I
a
could-
magical object.
Yeah, evidently I was just glowing really
Hey, I
hard
could
and
do
something
like a
about
commune,
legendary something.
You know,
so yeah.
see if I can glean any information that way.
Oh, you can just straight up ask Carlos.
You can,
Oh,
if you want, yeah.
Is she
please.
a lost heir? It's a yes or no question.
I go to my room.
Now, here's learning lesson for everyone. She's saying to everyone, but she's looking at Arthur. Use your resources. Look at everyone around you. See how
I
people
look at
have
Arthur,
things
it's
they
like
can
with
do.
guidance,
Arthur's
I
like
have
suddenly pulls out a small like journal of paper, just resources. Question mark.
As
Like,
he, like,
you can see him
spells it, like,
mouth
4
the
different
word
ways.
question. Resources. Yes, Mr. Credible.
So as we're sitting here, and hearing them like lecture us essentially,
Yeah.
I think Mr. Incredible is going to be entertaining himself with other things, and so he's going to be looking at the map and trying to discern, where is Scar right now? Where
Ooh.
has he been?
Go ahead.
What is-
Ooh, roll me investigation on that. Actually,
Why
that's
is
solid.
Mr. Credible
I also
so
saw this
smart?
something
He just
better
pretends to
than
be an
the-
idiot.
August.
I'm
yeah.
not joking.
Hmm?
I'm gonna go
It's
to the
not
room
made
and I was
to
gonna
be
set
smart.
stuff up for commune and then I like kind of
You can
got the
commune
incense.
just in your mind. Like it would be a very informal, but
descending to Bell. That's why he doesn't
Oh.
say that he's
I
gonna
have
do
to
it.
try
So I'm
it.
ascending. So I'm basically gonna be casting ascending and asking her to do some research because I wouldn't say I know she's bored. But knowing Belle, she's probably bored out of her mind. It's been like a couple days at this
I have to
point.
try a lot of smart things.
So-
none of them work.
That's fair.
Like, you're gonna rock
Okay.
real high.
So what do you want
That
to
was
ask
brilliant.
Belle?
Worked. It was really cool.
Hi. In a pickle. Pickle. Rapunzel may be princess. Can you check out? How is everything? Boring? Not boring?
That was
So
too
those
nice.
two.
Put another finger up.
Has Adam died?
No, you never put that other finger up for.
No, she did.
Oh, did she?
I did. I'm on my last one. Hope
Has-
things are well.
Adam died? Question mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
I'm
15,
counting.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Has Adam died? Okay.
So you have 4 more.
Hope you are well.
Perfect. But not Adam.
No.
You're
He
like,
doesn't deserve-
hope you
She
are
understands in the
Or
message
she's
that
inclusive
asking
you.
if Adam has died is the closest Lily may get
Yeah.
to being like, you okay?
well. Guys, Mega's the
Oh
new
wait, are you
Adam.
texting her?
She's the one that everyone's like, oh, and then there's
I
that.
like you.
I
Yeah,
like
'cause you're
Adam
cool.
too. See? See? That's funny, actually.
And so Lily's the new Belle.
Because that would be that, like,
No, she
again,
should not
Lilith
live in
doesn't like me at all. Lilith would be kind of a
I
I
am
think you're fine. I'm just mad. that,
cool.
like,
Sending has been sent to your oracle friend. We'll see if they respond.
I
Did
think
you send it to Rebecca?
much
Now
better
I'm
in
just
her
kind of
faces.
doing like a little.
Wait, question. Did you do it over Messenger or did you do it over text?
Text.
They don't have service anymore right now because they didn't pay
You
for
said
it
that over
for the whole time they're in Canada. Because it would be really, really expensive. So she says only use Messenger. Sorry, I figured that would be important.
Also,
Yeah.
because
Ooh,
I'm
metagaming.
Important.
Well, that little metagaming of how do we contact our oracle?
I'm so sorry. I just figured that was.
because I wanted to do Belle first.
She could just do an
Because
oracle
it's
check.
not like
You see,
I'm having deity parent issues right now. I have mommy and daddy issues combined.
I think
all
that's
to a
part of
god
it.
issue.
How sneakily you did it, because none of us know. We all just think you went and communed regardless.
Yeah.
You're so clever.
I'm gonna grab him.
And I'll just
I'll
say it's like
work with
3 to 5
him
business
on
days.
For the map.
Yeah.
ooh,
Because
go ahead. You can both then give me either investigation, or if one of you wants, then the other one could give like a help action.
you probably use point.
Are we still in
Okay.
the castle? Or are we now in our boat?
Castle stone.
We have a library.
Mhm.
Can I go find a library? And
You could.
research the horseman?
Oh, is the
Ooh.
meeting like done? Or are we all?
No, this is still just like, this is like just humbly like kind of like because it's like, hey, let's try to not divide and conquer, but quick, let's get information. Agatha's like, all right, how'd the communion go?
Went great. But I just want to apologize. Been having a bit of issues with my deity lately. I will know soon. I've also sent off a message to Belle as well, kind of like as a backup, to see if she can glean any information oracle-wise. Because I think it'd be really smart, you know?
Okay.
And I also did want to ask. Sorry, is Belle? I didn't say Belle. Is Snowstone the room? Okay. You wouldn't happen to have like gems on you that I can use for spells, or do I have to go over to Snow for that? Mom? Okay.
It's
And you
very
see she goes,
rude for a
I don't-
caster to ask another caster for the
I
material
don't know that
components.
because I've been isolated on an island for 14 years of my life. I'm
Out
sorry.
of how many years?
15. Shut up. I put Jim off with
You think Agatha just, well, now you know. Immediately turns back. Well, we figured out whether our Miss Rapunzel is or is not, in fact, royal. May I present a plan?
Wait, while
Let's
we
hear it.
wait, how do we know?
Whether or not she is royal,
I say we go with it. See what
they might want her to be.
You're
It's got a point.
happens. That's fair.
I
I think I
You
should
can
do
do it.
mine too.
Anastasia, this
You can
crap.
let me do
Yeah.
the talking.
Mama, it's me.
Here's
Those guys will.
you see,
support
Agatha. Just
Williams.
here's the blunt part. Without some backup, we have no way of defeating anyone.
So no matter what we do, we have to figure out a way to unite the 7 kingdoms.
We need an army, and they're the only ones left.
I got you covered.
No.
What you got?
Oh, also, I rolled a 21 on the map check.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we'll get to that too. Yeah.
So, I wanna meet with all the new supers, and
I'll tell you this: to gather them though is gonna take a lot of time.
okay.
It'd be easier to go on a diplomatic mission and like call all the.
Like
nations
right now,
and
because most of the supers that are here
faster.
are probably like Lucius. They're out doing like hero work right now.
Also, another.
But yes.
What I was planning on is, I have a superhero agency, like coordinator,
Mhm.
boss man, whatever, my agent.
Mhm.
I wanted to get in touch with the agents because I imagine that they're all taking care of at least one, if not more than one, and then that would be less contacts that I would have to do, and they could gather more people quickly.
Okay, I'll say this to them, Mr. Incredible. You can go ahead, roll me this wouldn't be rolled. This is what you know. Just letting you know, if you were to do this, you could gather, but you would be leaving Sumani City then without any real defense.
So I'm thinking like 10 minutes. I just want them. I don't know how the ring works. Do I just need to let them know that I'm going to be coordinating efforts, and then they become my army, or?
Here's what I'll give you, Mr. Incredible. With your ring, the army, it's only as powerful as long as they're together and with you. It's kind of like an actual army where it's like when you're a commander and you're not with your troops, how effective can you be?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you'd have maybe some bonuses, but the true power of the ring would be with armies that are near you.
Okay.
Just because, again, with Sumani, why Sumani's never really had official, like, guards or, like, military is because of the supers, right? It's it's unorganized, but they get the job done. So it's not a bad idea, but that's one of those, like, you could quickly go, right, but if I take all the supers out, they're defenseless, and your ring might work better with a different army that you can work with in person.
So what I'm hearing is if we go gather 7 armies and then put Mr. Incredible in front of one,
or all 7.
Mm-hmm. So do the other kingdoms have armies already put together?
Yeah. Well, you could assume they probably have. They've probably done some fighting still, because again, let alone fighting and with Scar. But like that's why it's like they're the last remaining. Like this is where you'll find people to lead.
Cool.
And honestly, if we need to, I can intimidate them with my ability to create plagues.
That's fair.
Oh gosh. With your ability to what?
What is
Your ability to hold on. Point of order.
Chief Plague Scar's army?
Yeah.
Hey, can
Yeah,
I
there
like
we go.
You're not committing mass war crimes.
You guys
You're
don't
aligned
learn
when you
anything.
All the
Listen,
things
listen,
we-
listen,
People-
listen.
Lily.
Here's the thing about creating plagues is I have to have
Rapunzel
a source and
is
a person who holds
royalty?
all the plagues.
Got it!
That's how I get.
She just screamed
So
to me.
Was there a
it's
question mark?
complicated and complex.
This is a random metagaming thing. We have like a very unofficial, just loose way of like we want to make sure they can have fun and just randomly chat in, but like I can take liberties too.
Now
And
that I know
so
Belle's in my corner, I am going to be, I wouldn't say abusing this power, but using it a lot. Because we still have the divider technically, to get in touch. So is that all the message says?
Yep.
Oh, because it's a response to my message. I can't respond to her.
Yep.
So you
Hey, yeah, you're royalty.
Dang it, I was really excited to lie.
I was
You
going to
just hear
say,
Flynn in the other side like, yes!
yeah, that's literally you just hear like mad cheering, just like hoo ha hoo humda ha dildo ha tuso ow not the face lance, like just some wild cheering.
Gly's gonna reach out the door and he's like, "Hey,
You see these 2 grown men in the get slapped and like by this literal living gargoyle, and they just. I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you, Elias.
Wait, I do want to say, if Belle hadn't messaged, it's gonna be like, well, I don't like to talk about it too much because I was told as a kid, hey, I'm so about bad magic. But there's these things called blood hunters. If we could find one and identify her blood, they could figure it out. She was really. But
We don't
apparently
need to
the
do
oracle
that.
said yeah, so we're good now.
You see, Agatha just, well, here's what I will say. Because of current circumstances, Merlin and I must return to Magencia. If we leave it, it
Can
will...
I ask you something before you go? Like, you can fix your spiel. Can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, now?
Yes?
Cool. I kind of need to make a pit stop on the way to Corona, but I don't know where that pit stop is.
Then how are you making a pit stop?
I was hoping you would know where Varian was.
Ask the Oracle.
Small boy,
Hey,
random...
Belle.
No, you don't get to ask. I'm not going to let that.
I can draw something real
You
quick.
can draw shit.
Yeah. He was trying to protect his town. He needed help. We had to go to the Beholder, and now
To be a bit
everyone
pragmatist then, dear,
gone.
he's probably either dead
No,
or not.
because now you don't understand how capable he is. He's
Yeah,
tapped
Rapunzel?
into some really dark powers, and I am really, really worried.
Rapunzel?
Do you want to save this little boy, or do you want the world to die?
Honestly, at this
Yes.
point,
That's
it
a
is
little
more
bit
important.
drastic.
The little
But
boy.
Rapunzel, if you want.
Miss Gretel, one life!
Why
Leave
not
no kid
have-
behind!
Why not have both?
Why not?
Okay,
My
no,
sending-
no.
All
Por
I
qué
need
no
to
estás?
have is met them before and have a vague, like.
Okay, she
understanding
has a
of
good
that.
point. She's like, so if you think that he's actually getting into dark stuff, he's probably with the enemy, so you're probably gonna find him on the way down. I'm like,
That's just my
Meg
that's
just-
really
really sad, but
Could we also
Lily not knowing
stop
this
where
is
he
like,
should
hey,
be and kidnap him?
My spell for sending, I just need to know their face and know them vaguely, and I've met him. I can send a sending to him right now.
we already
know
did
he
that
doesn't
though.
want to
Well,
talk
yeah, we could
because
do it
he tried
again.
the dream thing.
Lily, I will say, you know he doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
He won't tell
With
me where
everything,
he is.
he's not gonna respond. And, like, I will say this just so you don't waste a spell slot. Don't try it. Like, that's one of those, like, if you were to try... I mean, it's very rough and it's very dark, but it's like... You're
Meg has
texting
a
someone who's,
point.
like, blocking the number. So to
Also,
speak.
Meg
what
has
do
a
you mean
point.
he's gotten to dark
Hmm?
powers?
You see...
At this point, it's not worth it trying to find
We'll
Fairy.
get back to that later. Rapunzel. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, moving on. I'm gonna go cook.
I threatened
You see, Agatha just-
fiddling with my knife like
Well-
tell me everything. Yeah, I will pull and return the hand on the shoulder.
You should probably get to flight to Fantalda. I don't know, maybe takes like a good 2 days. Crow flies, or the ship swims, flies. Yes, Miss Thumbelina?
So I would like to get books for us to read on the horsemen. Could I take 5 minutes, search your library for just books, and then take them with us?
Well, you see, it's not my library, but she snaps her fingers. You see a lot of books start. The door opens. Flynn like, oh, what the? As books start like kind of doing that weird hippity hoppity into the room, and start going out the window and up the ladder towards the ship that's docked above.
Wait, if you're allowed to do that, could you throw a goblet and some diamonds in that, please? Or else I will not be able to save everyone. I'm out of everything.
I'm a connoisseur of intellect.
I'll go
and
find Snow. Hey, Snow!
Snow pokes her head in. Yeah.
I need another goblet and some diamonds. Is that okay?
Oh, hon.
No? Can I just...
We're using anything we have here is definitely being used
Okay,
in a
I'll find some
hospital.
other stuff. No, thanks
I'm
a lot.
sorry.
No, they need more. Sorry.
As you turn around, and as all of you turn, Agatha and Merlin have indeed disappeared.
So
Just
guys,
like Merlin
is
is our
giant
pink
blob in his
Uh,
beard by any
Fun
chance?
fact, Arthur's still there. See, Arthur just...
Hey, Arthur.
Arthur, were you
Hey.
supposed to go with them?
I
No,
wouldn't forget
they
him.
told... I'm supposed to be a king and help.
Roger! I run up and I start preparing one of the guest beds.
You see, anyone who wants can actually roll a perception
Heck
check.
yes. See if I can roll it.
No tripping, just clambering up the yard, just getting...
I got 22.
What was it? Perception?
22.
17.
Arthur...
20.
Oh,
13.
16.
anyone who rolled higher than a 15, you all see Arthur look at Goliath, and then kind of look down, I'm just supposed to come along.
Alright.
And Goliath, you know. All right.
You just hear faint
Cool, I
Can I
have
do
pop
an
on my
insight
board.
on that? Can I do an insight on that list?
You can actually.
I get nothing. I got not one.
I'm gonna do an insight.
I'll say Goliath definitely because he looked
Dang
at
it.
you
I literally
specifically.
left when the only ability I'm good at is
Yeah.
happening.
Dang it, that's a 3.
You
I'm sorry.
something's up. He just kind of the way he looked at you. It's you've never been great at discerning human faces. I'll say. I mean,
Yeah.
humans are a weird breed to you, but there's some.
You're a breed.
As you're all standing there,
It's like in Supernatural.
Arthur just
Humans are just crazy.
you see for like. Maybe it's because his mentors are literally not at his shoulders. Arthur kind of seems a lot more relaxed. You see, actually,
we're
just
gonna cause chaos.
so.
You just keep hearing.
I think like
Just like-
anyone who wants, I could like knight you guys on the way if you just want like cool titles.
Dude, hop on the board. Let's
Didn't
go.
Immediate boom, Flynn and like, did someone say we can
Oh
be
God!
knights?
Again, grab him by the face and
Stop! Not
I'm
again.
going to kindly remind them that they are her subjects and she can execute them.
By the way, I yelled.
Excuse you, scary lady and scary winged beast. I do not want haunting my dreams anymore. We, in fact, are escorts for the Princess Blondie. Name is Princess Blondie
So do
Rapunzel.
you want these escorts?
Can I roll intimidation?
Can I see, like, are they even decent people?
Interesting.
That's a tricky.
I will say, because it's your Rapunzel, you can roll insight with advantage.
Oh, good.
That's kind of your whole thing.
I want to by the way, intimidation keeps in mind like if you
Oh.
hurt her,
Almost
if
enough.
you
Go ahead and roll that. We'll do
if
this.
you-
Oh, good, I have a +8
And
to insight.
I'm behind
I'm
her like
16.
using
So
Finn
they're all
and
rattling.
I'll say
and
what-
Walter's like,
what'd you
"We're
roll?
getting knighted again?"
Oh wait, I still have my
Sick,
finger.
3 for 3.
Okay, so 16, 17, 18, 19.
19. I'll say that would be the last bang ring. Lily, you're going to have to start recharging bang rings now.
Yeah.
Rapunzel, you look. These are
Watch the
roguish
second go.
thieves.
They're
You've met
black as
thieves
night in
before.
their souls.
All right, that's what you get. No, I'm kidding. You see these two guys, Flynn and Lance, a half orc and a half elf, just kind of, all smiles. But you think back to when you technically first met Flynn, and they don't seem like people who want bad things to happen.
And they let everyone else know to be a side.
They kind of are like people. Honestly, looking at them, you get reminded of Adam. That very
Oh.
pomp and circumstance of but without the actual royalty to back it up, but the suave, debonair. But inside, you see that same, they just want to make sure they're doing their best. Rapunzel,
Dang it.
you look at them, what do you say to these two?
I did pay you to do a job. Come on.
You see,
Okay.
all of you are behind Rapunzel.
Wait.
The girl's like, "How did you do all
I
Oh,
would say, like, they look up, Thumbelina, you, like, reach up, grab one of the wooden buttresses with, like, your small hand, just,
No, 'cause it was 16.
you grab it, and just crush it with. Jim, you bring out, like, your pistol, cock it. All of you are just like,
Can I
you
swing
hurt
from
her?
the ship and then just stand?
Like, I'll say all of you are just,
I'll do
We'll
a little like
murder
prestidigitation
you.
of like this floating.
everyone except Arthur, who's looking at all of you like,
Hey,
Yeah,
guys,
eyes glow white,
Stop
Oh,
lips
shit.
red.
Robins are terrible.
Rapunzel, you don't see any of this because you're just, like, looking at
Bye-bye.
them deeply like, okay,
Hey, August.
you can come along. And they're just,
Hey, August.
It's like
we're getting paid, we're getting,
Pascal.
Pascal. Oh, you know Pascal's on your shoulder with his little fist just,
Dragon scale armor.
you,
Yes, it's
Okay,
nice to
the dragon scale
Yeah.
armor, I would be terrified.
So I'm on the
Yeah,
ship,
like,
right? Is it okay if I like use one of the ropes to swing back in through the window?
I just,
Just
it's that classic, think of it like the Avengers scene. Let's go
Yeah.
quick also, while you guys are now basically loading up, what was the map checks and
21.
everything? 21. Here's what you two would get. Looking at this map, everything seems very sporadic. It's hard to find, but not impossible to realize that this map does reflect the states of the army, and you can tell where pins have been bigger or smaller, where they've moved. Like Agatha was saying, you are seeing they've been focused a lot up in the north near the Great Wall. They've been out near the western sands of Agrabah. You do notice something with the 21, that the pin up has been near the Seven Kingdoms, but not anywhere near like a kingdom where you could be like, oh, they probably were like, fighting a kingdom. Because again, if they tried to fight a kingdom, who knows what could happen. You see that the pins have gone around these like forested areas up there.
Like they're scouting it out. Or
You're
watching.
Or
you're
they
not
don't
sure
want to
because
go in.
it's not near. It's actually, to give you the idea, it's in between the Great Wall and the Seven Kingdoms. This kind of like maybe wooded area, more towards the Seven, because it's not near the Horn. There's no kingdoms near there. Like you can look at these, and I'll say like other small maps or historical knowledge of like what you've seen before. The armies have gone there, but there's no tactical reason. And I'll say on that investigation, it looks like they were scouting or looking around the area, and you don't know why.
So there's obviously something they want there.
Yeah. Either that or
That we
that's
just
like
don't know
base
about.
camp.
Wow,
Um,
you are doing way better than.
As you guys are all loading
That's not
up,
nice.
everyone's getting
Actually,
ready, and I'm gonna go through Goliath.
I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
Snow if she has any armor, gargoyle size laying around.
Yeah.
That's her.
You're allowed to ask for gargoyle ornament, and I can't have it.
I want
need a
you,
cup.
Lily. No, I want you, Eleanor, as a player, to give me a scenario where medical patients would be needing gargoyle-sized armor. Now think of they need chalice, but which medical patients probably need restorations or high magical spell components? You see it, right? You see why maybe one of these could happen.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Goliath, I'll say this. On that roll, Snow, I've got some stuff. Let me look around. I'm going to make a roll to see what kind of armor she finds. Because in the embassy, they have access to stuff. I mean, this isn't just like a diplomacy place. This place could be well defended if they needed to. She's going to make a roll for her investigation. Had to look that up. Ooh, that's not great. Let's go with... I found a bomb.
I cast fireball.
It's like in the Peter Pan stage, but at all the cost of children.
Jonathan. She is able to find for you. I'll give you this. You find, or she comes like, hey, I know it's not a lot. She holds up this very impressive, what's obviously a half-plate armor. Something that's going to cover chest. So this is going to be, the armor class now will be 15 plus your dex of a max of 2. So I think your AC now is 16? Or...
let's see. I had that in there.
I should just look it up, but yeah, so... you see, this is kind of all we have. Most other armors have been either used by other diplomats or for other reasons. And so just so you know, with this half plate, because it is just a raw made half plate, you will now have disadvantage on stealth checks specifically. But I don't think Goliath's ever going to be the one to sneak away.
Exactly. I'm a 6'9" gargoyle.
You're a
Yeah.
barbarian. You're a whole bunch of silly
Yes.
smack.
And finally, Meg, you also had your hand raised as you were...
There's just two things that I want to make sure I get done before we leave the city.
Okay.
So first, I want to check the library specifically for more Dragon's Teeth information.
The full library is still marching its way up the ship.
So we're getting all of it. It's not like
Full
okay.
library.
You see, Agatha, here's the best way to put it. Have you ever heard of lawful chaotic? She will obey
Yes.
all the chaotic rules she can.
Yeah, August.
So-
Class is 16 now.
Gotcha. So, yeah, better, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can find more.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other thing I wanted to get done, we do canonically still have most of the dragon carcass on our ship. I wanted to see if we could like sell that up before we leave, so we're not carting it around to all the wars with us.
Yeah.
And the,
And then I
Religion.
take some of the
Okay.
stuff and I can actually get supplies.
So,
nobody dies.
everyone's just trying to stock up. I
Well,
was... Yeah, sorry.
if we have enough time that we solve the dragon carcass,
30, 20.
if we have enough time to solve the dragon carcass and everything, then I would also like to continue my search for like, hey, what's this sort of magical blacksmith type thing who could like create a spell gem for me or that kind of thing? Because I was thinking about that earlier, and you said I would like have to find an artist.
That's going to be something where you could start studying up from the library and everything
Okay.
probably on the way, I'd
Okay.
say. Because, again, right now you'd have to be looking through the books as they're all, like, cutely bouncing their way up the ship.
Do before we leave is can we sell the dragon?
Definitely. Go ahead and give me a quick investigation.
Specifically for diamonds.
We'll get to that later.
I cannot rule. Can I help her?
I have nothing to do.
you.
Yeah, I guess you could. Rapunzel,
That's like 11 total. But
Because
I
we're
rolled
also
a natural
doing
3.
you're probably.
okay,
I think you and Jim are probably doing most of the ship
There, that's a
prep
20.
because you're both the
Finally.
ones that like. Yes, you're all
20 dice.
proficient, but you guys know ships.
That's
so
my dice,
dirty
like
20
in college humor.
Yeah, in the water.
Hear me out.
Meg,
Hear me out,
uh,
so it's okay.
really badly one time.
Can I go up to Meg and it's like, if you have any time, I'm gonna. The world is at stake. If you can steal a gold chalice that's worth at least 300 and some diamonds, that would be
Oh,
great.
and some
Meg-
agate, please.
I am out of supplies. If anybody goes down, I can't revivify.
I have a lot of really good skills.
Is stealing not one of them?
Yeah.
It's
What
okay.
about
No,
those
it's
thieves
fine.
outside the door?
I was thinking the same
Hey, yo,
thing.
I kind of like, can we let them in this way?
They're just awkwardly standing
Hey,
at
you
the door.
two, I need your help.
Hmm?
So come here.
Oh, can I do
And
a
so-
shoulder because I need something too?
Yeah, so you can
Actually,
watch.
I
Can you
think
help
I
me
have
intimidate for a
some
second, real quick?
Here's
So
what
I'm
I'll
gonna do,
say.
like, the
Wait,
kind
Can I
intimidation
roll
where it's like,
intimidation?
you
I
got.
will send
Hold
you
on,
to
let's address the
realms
dragon
that will
first,
tear your
though.
mind apart bit by bit. Don't ever speak of this, okay? But I need your help.
Wow, you're terrifying. How old are you?
Who's
And
more
she
terrifying?
pretends to be up on the high moral high horse. Can we commiserate here?
The world
going
is
through
ending,
something.
so that's the only reason why I'm asking you for this.
Thank you.
Because in the end, if any of us go down, I have the power to bring people back from the dead in a certain time allotment. I don't have the stuff.
I'm not actually going to mention
So I need at least a gold
Okay,
chalice
that's
worth
rage.
300, at least some gems worth 300, and then some gems worth 600, because then if anybody dies, it's at least 10 days, I can bring them
You
fully
see Lance
You know she
raise.
can resurrect anybody at any point.
You see Lance raises his
back.
hand.
Oh yeah, yours is like a, hear me out, yours
Lance,
is like a sniper rifle?
excuse me.
Yeah.
Lance raises his hand. So what I'm hearing is, if we are to get these items,
Yes.
it helps save the world. And Flynn copying, and if they're to save the world, it's for a good cause.
I
And so
will pay you to
therefore,
get
if
there.
it's a good
I'll pay
cause,
you 20%. I just need at least that chalice.
Oh, just give
but
me
if
that
it's for a good
second.
cause, the people say, if being pardoned by the current king of Agencia, would not, in fact, in this hypothetical scenario, be punished for this. Arthur's like, I have to look that up. You see, Flynn. So what we're hearing is, if per se we had taken things from like a vault somewhere in this building, but they're to be useful for.
Gosh.
Let's go on the ship. Let's get on the ship. We're
Lance
getting on the
gonna
ship.
come back behind him, lift him up, and
Just shake him down.
yeah, gonna shake him up, and then just like, just get the things. And drop them.
You see, Lance is. My pants have never more needed to be changed. Here, Mr. Scary Man and Lady, here is a big old bag of diamonds that I swindled from the Royal Vault. In fact, so you don't kill me, I also took what looks to be about 3,000 worth of gold. I found some really nice cups that I was going to drink champagne out of later. And you see Flynn just goes,
Sure enough of those stay in the city that like the hospitals
Yeah,
are.
so I start to be out. I only need at least one chalice before I fight.
you see Flynn also takes out, he's like, this is exactly 4,008 pieces of silver I counted.
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
Goliath's gonna tap him on the shoulder. Good job. And turn, and as he turns, he's gonna sweep him with his tail.
They both, I'll give him a save.
Okay, so hear me out, guys.
They both are on their feet, but it's still that like when you buckle the knees.
I'll take a handful of silver coins because when I grind it up, I have silver powder and I can do some important spells again. But like silver and gold, we leave here. Right? Okay, silver and gold we leave
And
here.
yeah, most of
All
the
I
time.
need is one chalice. And I look at a chalice, it has at least one gem, and I'm like, yep, that's at least worth 300.
Mhm.
And then the other chalices I leave here, I do take here, how many gems did he say?
He got a giant bag. There's almost like 40 diamonds in there.
There you go. Yeah, thanks.
Flynn and
That's
Lance
just maybe
were
smile.
robbing the place.
I'll take 10.
I'll send you. I made a roll to see because I was curious. I'm like, would they have robbed? I rolled a
Oh,
nat
yes.
20. So like, while everyone was resting, they were very much taking advantage of like, hey, I mean,
What
Okay.
I love is
I
she
took
immediately treated me as Jasmine and thought I would steal stuff. And if I had been, then we never would have found out they had all that stuff. Because Jasmine just
you would have
gone and
made the
stole more
worst
stuff.
rolls of like, I can't find anything. And on your way, obviously,
I
you
kinda
can
went
find
to you
somewhere to
in
drop
that-
off the dragons.
In that
Okay.
dynamic sense.
Just for
I
fun,
know
this is
that,
4,000
like,
pieces of silver,
morality
exactly what I
wise,
Yeah, so like,
you're
what
gonna
do we
be the
get for the
easiest to
dragon?
convince. You
We'll
know?
get there. When we get there,
Sorry,
we'll
so when you
fly.
said you could drop it off, I thought that that was you just not
The
talking
reason I
more
went
about
to
it?
Meg is because you would have been the most likely, morality-wise, to understand why I needed that.
That's fair.
You
I
know?
could have helped her, to be honest.
Okay. So we
He's
take
the
all that.
sneaky
I take at least 10, because then they'll cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll cover our party. Are they?
Okay.
Can I assess? Are they at least over 300? If not, are they over 600? Because 600 is where I can do a raised dead, and it's 10 days. As long as the body's intact, I bring it back.
You'll have to. I was making a note of something.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat that
That's
question?
fine. Gems. Are they worth at least 300? If
yes.
not, 600.
These are $300 worth diamonds.
So no 600s?
Nope.
Oh, well. Okay, so I will take 10, and I will leave 30.
Did they ever get it's like agate or I don't remember how I say it. I said it earlier. Agate.
Agate, the stone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of precious stones.
I was going to say, I
I'll
probably
say
have some from Neverland.
in the bag
Never know.
Flynn had with silver, there's some agate that you could have
Wait,
grabbed. Like,
I get like this thing, and I pull it out of my Neverland jacket.
oh yeah, she had.
Yeah.
It's like I have a bunch of like materials from Neverland. This is how I've been surviving. Man.
All I have is meteor, right?
It's like
Jim just sitting
And
there
you
like,
have a whole
So we
I
take
got
it
space
we
dust.
put it into a bag.
Space
Lily
rocks.
starts writing out a
Weird
note
spells,
and like
man.
very
Do you store this stuff?
thing. I wouldn't say kindergarten-esque,
Like,
but, like
Jim's in the background, just like watching like Earth spells. Like, you guys are weird. You don't grind up a meteorite, snort it, and then you can cast like space lightning.
Meg's gonna try
Wait,
it.
is that how more shit that
What?
No, that's
If I roll high enough on our
not
camera,
how
can she learn how to like have this new spell?
Stuff's different here.
Yes.
For Morph just absorbed components, but for a
Yeah.
normal person, they would have to just like, all right, meteorite. Oh, here we go. And yeah, anyway.
But if you look
Um,
from a
I
third-party
do write a
perspective,
note
nothing's
in like
happening.
very third grade-esque writing
Yes.
of we found out these were stolen by
or whatever
what are
it
your
is.
names?
My name is in fact Horace McBumbersnatch. And you see Flynn.
Not. Wait, did we ever get
It's
that?
not.
It's like
No,
the two
not you.
mercenaries.
Never got Lance and Flynn Dinglehop.
No, it's Flynn Rider. I remember. He told me what his name was.
You are really unhelpful to my whole thing I got going on, Blondie.
It's like we found out these were stolen. Period.
Princess. She gets to do whatever she wants.
What she said.
We are off on our way.
Jim,
You created this monster. You told her.
yes,
The
you can
people we
write that.
found it on were very sneaky. Comment. They may have taken more. This is what we could
You
change.
and I'll just say you write that now. That's fair. You all get ready to head off. As you go, you're flying. Mr. Incredible, you will then be in your room, just kind of prepping, trying to figure out more about the ring. Jim and Lily, again, probably at the helm.
I did on the bottom floor where there's kind of like more of a common area. I set up a sleepover.
Yeah, so I'd show the King Arthur how to fly the ship.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
and show him how to.
Hey, Arthur,
Give
what's
me-
this? I start climbing up the rings.
Arthur's just kind of like, oh, okay.
I start teaching him like some really sketchy stuff at times. Like,
Wow, so you just wrap it 13 times around and like the neck?
Oh,
Wow.
Hey, where are
you
you
learn
guys
some
learning
stuff
down
when
there?
you go to space, man. Like it's
Awesome.
cutthroat up there.
Awesome.
Hey,
You see,
Arthur,
Goliath's
Arthur,
gonna do
join the
sword
president.
lessons with Arthur.
ooh,
Oh, that would be awesome.
you see Arthur, actually, we're gonna do a quick little battle. He's gonna roll initiative with you. You see
Oh.
Arthur's like, I can, sword fight. No, Merlin and I've been trying, I can do sword fighting. I can just, not, you kind of get that impression, Jim. He's getting a little like sketched out by you, like, oh.
Don't worry, you'll have executioners to do that for you.
I give.
I'm gonna fight with the scary demonic gargoyle. As you guys, it's also evening, definitely this time. You can start fighting Goliath. This kid, what you're realizing, he is actually deceptively good with
Oh.
the sword.
That's so cool.
What you start seeing, we're gonna roll initiative here real quick.
Obviously, you have guidance. I'm gonna say I mean,
No
that's
guidance is
less.
allowed because you're on the ship.
9.
9, he got a 11.
Okay.
Okay. You see, Arthur is gonna go up. This is all non-damaging.
Yeah.
I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Oh.
He's gonna add in this die and that.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, you watch Arthur starts. Goof, goof, goof. You are bringing in your hits hard, right? Again,
Mhm.
it's one of those like Goliath. It's not like no mercy, but it's like no, we train for real.
Yeah.
What you're realizing is he can't be more than 14, is matching the weight. And so it's not like, oh, he's that strong. It's he's able to counter how you're fighting, right? He's able to like, okay, you're bringing it down hard, so if I bring my blade like this, it will just slide off and I can push, get ready. He is going through, you watch and you realize what he's about to do before he does it. He brings his sword up as pushes off and realize he's going in and is about to sweep under your legs to trip you.
Ooh.
He collides with the leg, definitely gets in. It still like does that damage of just like, ow, it hit, but you have already shifted your stance so you don't. You see Arthur just kind of like stops. That usually works. No offense, you're a really big guy and like you would have gone down hard. He just immediately goes back in. And you kind of like have a good sparring session, realizing this kid's got some good tactics with his fighting. For those wondering, he is a battle master fighter. Arthur's he's got some combat. He's been learning and training. He doesn't want to be a bad king. Goliath, at one point you stop. You're actually I'd say for the first time you've actually worked up a bit of a workout sweat. That kind of like, yo, it feels good. Like your body's feeling really nice. Just that like, oh, you see Arthur just, you're really good. Where are you from again?
Scotland.
I've only ever seen, Beers to Kills. You got wings.
Yeah, magical guardian of a castle.
Oh, cool. Man, there's a lot in this world.
Yeah.
I don't know about.
The world's only gotten bigger for me, kid.
Wait till you go to space.
Space?
People can do that?
You both, Goliath and Arthur. Outer space?
Okay, I'm going to tell you some stories.
No, you see, Arthur, he's sitting here, Goliath, as Arthur is just kind of like panting, taking a drink of water. So, you're from Scotland, right?
Yeah.
I have a... Well... So I have a question, if it's okay. I don't... Merlin is weird.
Okay.
He remembers a lot, and it's kind of hard to keep conversations with him, because he's divinatory and's been throughout all time.
You're allowed to just say he's crazy. He's not here. You can't hear him.
All people walking by, it's okay. We're in a safe space. Tell them that Merlin's crazy. And you see, Arthur just, but Arthur looks around. He's going to say this only to you, Goliath.
Okay.
You see, if it's not rude, because I know you were at that time, but I kind of heard that whole curse. Merlin told me to find something, and he said you might help, but I'm not supposed to let people know.
What was it that he wanted you to find?
You see Arthur kind of like now sweating more out of just that like anxiety. Just Merlin didn't tell me specifics, but he said there's a weapon that could help me be a good king and also help in the fight. I mean, I can fight now, but honestly, you see, go ahead and roll me an insight check here, Goliath. I'll say with advantage because you've just had a good like. When you spar with someone, when like fighting boxing, I think you really kind of get in their head. So I'll let you do this with advantage.
That's a 4.
A 4 with advantage. His face is just a mix of teenage hormones and emotions. You see Arthur just
trouble reading humans.
You see it's Arthur. Merlin's always cryptic, but I'm not like you guys. You're all very you, right? Like. It's kind of why I knighted most of you, because you're heroes, and I am not. Merlin just kind of picked me out, and I've been training, and I want to be good, but I'm not there. And he said this could help, but he's Merlin. He wouldn't give me specifics, but he said you might know of a weapon that could. I think he may have run into you at some point. You have no memory of ever meeting Merlin before, but it's like divinatory. Maybe I don't know, but it's like that. You see, Arthur just. I don't know if you have any help in that. If not, it's a dumb question. It's dumb.
I remember this is game context. You did say I remembered a little bit about Excalibur before.
You do.
So putting that in here, it's like I believe I know what weapon you're talking about.
You do.
It is somewhere in Skull.
Okay. Merlin said one other thing.
All right.
I can't let a lot of people know about this weapon. It, in the right hands, can help us defeat these horsemen. In the wrong, will kill us all. And I trust you all. Like you're all the Imagineers. All of you, you're all equally terrifying and scary and have really niche, maybe illegal things you know.
I believe it.
But like,
Hey.
you guys,
Including
it's not that it's trust. It's I've never seen Merlin serious about something, and Merlin was really serious about keeping the circle of influence about this small.
Here, I'm gonna go
You're
keep
still
working
not
on
there.
the sleepover. Like I was
Um,
walking by and I'm like,
So Goliath, go ahead and roll me a history check on what you know as Excalibur.
Please roll good. That's a 7. Can I get an advantage on this?
Do you not have a modifier?
It's +1.
Oh.
Ooh. I will
You
say
need
this.
Something big.
I will allow an advantage simply because you've been like asking, like this is something you can like. It's like an active conversation,
Yeah.
right? Like this isn't just an offhand topic thinking.
Nat 20!
Yeah! Woo! Thank you,
Ooh.
Braxton.
nice.
Natural 20. Goliath. You know we gotta. Oh no.
His brain just downloads the exact
I will say this:
GPS
we're going to give you
coordinates.
a bit of a flashback,
Okay.
but we'll get to that because it might be a little in depth. We'll get to that though.
Okay.
While you guys are heading out of town, you quickly stop at the meat section of town with all of this dragon parts. Most of you at this point, Mr. Incredible, you're probably like there. Everyone's there.
But Jim would buy some like nice stuff because he learned how to cook.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. I'll say honestly, like to get a good set of either like kitchen knives, because the ships here are stocked, but like to get the stuff, because any good cook knows you have to get the stuff you know. To get like a good set of knives, seasoning, and stuff that that Silver taught you. It's only gonna be like it's gonna be about 5 gold, but like you'll get that quality chef equipment, right?
I give you
Lily can supply.
Yeah.
You guys can go ahead.
I have not touched a single piece of gold this entire campaign.
You guys see the butcher here is a Furbolg, much older man, right? Those kind of cow ears. As he's kind of like sharpening out, just, oh, hello! You bring me good meats today. Welcome to Meat Market. Are any of you infected?
No.
No.
All right.
I'm fine.
Sorry. Jim just coughed a little bit. Yes. You see this Furbolg just, welcome to Vexy's Meats. I am Vexy. You buy, you sell.
We sell.
Sell? Ooh, what you
I
have
buy.
to sell for me? Oh, I'm buying, good sir. What you have to sell?
We just show him the dragon. It's like, take off
It's like
the
the
card.
dragon eye.
There's Zeus above! You see this Furbolg's, its eyes just like are expanding out of its socket, basically just, you have full dragon intact hair? You see, he starts like licking like parts of it, just like, oh, and that's beautiful. Preserve.
He's
Yes,
French,
yes.
obviously, so they don't really cook their dragon meat.
Let me tell you, Vexy give you good price for this dragon. Now here's Clincher. What other parts you have for Vexy? Parts?
All of it. We
Most
have
of
like
them.
we have a lot of dried as well as cured.
Is organs?
We did
Good.
keep the
Yes.
Yeah, we
You guys
and
unload.
we're
Your
also
invisible
looking
servants
for,
can
like,
quickly
We
unload
unload
stuff.
some scales, bones, and teeth, but everything else is still there,
Which
right?
You
is
see,
nothing to a butcher.
people don't eat scaled bone and teeth.
Yeah.
That people
I
don't
think
eat.
you-
I think that's
You
what
guys,
bones
you
stop.
got good stuff.
Everything
You see,
else
he
is
starts doing quick calculation on pad of paper. You've got blood, you got everything. Here, I give Vexy give you a great deal for all of this together. 200,000 gold.
Guys,
Oh!
this side.
Have
I'm
you
gonna
ever
see if
tried to
that's the
kill
right
a
price.
dragon? 300,000.
Oh, we have bargain now. Vexy like bargain.
And
Just as you
that
say,
could be-
I have
that
never.
could be-
You're like you actually see. He's very good at that quick multitasking. But you go 300. I say, oh yes, Vexy had never killed dragon, but dragon meat is good.
Did
It's
I
fine.
rescue your cat last week?
It's total deception because in fact you were gone. I'm gonna say go ahead and give me a deception roll though. That's
I don't even have cats.
I ate cat last week.
August, because I know he's lying. Can I give a guidance?
Yes.
Oh my god.
guidance.
You have guidance. Lily will give you guys because she knows you're lying. She can hear it. A D4. Yes, a D4.
It's not.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Our party's slowly
So,
getting darker
12.
and darker.
12. You see just. Vexy has cats, but I don't know if you super that rescue, Miss Puffball. Miss Puffball get rescue. I don't know if you, but you bring up good point, Vexy. Not kill dragon. I give you 225.
No.
I'm like, who said that?
August, insight check.
Oh, you got a pixie, little pixie. What you want?
I want to make an insight check.
Oh, insight check on it.
Guidance myself. Because it's an action.
Thumbelina should have pretended to be as
Okay.
conscious.
Can I go ahead and
Conscience.
do a persuasion
Plus
check for
3.
280,000?
So 16 plus 3 is 19. Plus 5 plus 4.
For an insight.
So
Already 225 is a fair price. Like already, like he started with 200 because it's like, yo, yeah, and that would be good. But like right now, it's just can you haggle him higher?
Can I do a
I'm gonna,
persuasion
like-
for 280,000?
208. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
And
be like, guys, maybe we should go to
Yes,
the
that's a
cellar.
26.
26 with that.
Just
You, see,
accept the
you go out the cellar.
price.
Vexy only good seller for meats here in Sumani. You think you getting good meats right now? People are dying by the dozens. They don't make good meat.
We
Vexy
save
knows.
people by the dozens, though.
Hmm?
We do.
Okay, guys. guys.
All right. Vexy, you say 280. Vexy give you a good deal.
280,000, you know what? We'll do 260,000.
260, 260, 250,
We'll take it.
We'll come to you with all of our
We'll
future
take
gifts,
it.
too.
We'll take it.
250, and you only come to Vexy.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yes. We got a deal. You see, Vexy started. You guys.
Does Lexi have any like keychains or anything? Like I want some merchandise. From
He's got Vexy. It's this like cartoonish chibi Furbolg holding like a just like severed pig head. Just is good. Just like straight is good. As Vexy holding
August, I buy one of those.
Cool.
I want one of those. For
one
her.
copper.
Okay.
Mr.
So, how
does
much
he
should that
work for the Little Mermaid and sing songs in the kitchen?
Do I know mermaids? I cook mermaid. You eat mermaid?
Oh gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Question.
Oh yeah, that is
Vexy, he's a butcher. He's not a cook.
We're splitting this evenly.
He
right?
can, but
Yeah.
it's like that's.
yeah.
Sorry.
Rapunzel.
This kind of what we're
Um,
making from the dragon is a joint
7
fund for
for
food.
us?
But
No, so I just
Got it.
divided it by 7. So like.
Hey, Rapunzel.
never mind.
Here's what I'll say. Everyone will get, if we want to be completely
Oh,
honest,
do you mention close for this guy?
I just got half
35,714.
I could argue that I should get more because I did technically kill it.
And keep it
I will
intact.
say,
That was my
because
plan.
then left over,
The only ones who fought everybody.
Technically, you should all be ours.
Yeah.
there's exactly 2 gold pieces left over.
We'll just each take one.
Does
of them.
anyone have anything like, because like you guys can
This is
quick,
that
Vexy
token.
can like divide it. There's 2 gold pieces left.
You add it in.
Like I honestly
Don't
don't
fall
want
for the
No,
cuteness.
he likes.
You see Flynn behind. You're gonna give the frog gold coins.
Do you know how much Pascal has done? He saved my life.
Let's go. Like, muscle. You see, just now, if it were me, I would say you would give the gold coins to your lovely personal
We're all
bodyguards.
not getting paid, remember?
And we need money
didn't
to
help
keep
the
you in the
dragon.
finest of health. Anyone who wants can roll me a perception check.
No, can I make an intimidation?
No.
I was literally about to suggest intimidation to get them to stop.
I got a dirty 20.
Hey, August, perception check.
11.
18 plus 5 plus 4.
Lily, you hear just maybe I could have the 2 gold. You turn around, slung across his back with 8 heads dangling is Hercules himself, just like the kid is covered in bruises and cuts and blood. Holding his
I
head,
don't
just
care. I give him a hug.
ribs.
Oh, I give him.
Ow! Oh, much better. Hi, Vexy.
Hey,
Hercules! Oh, my boy, Hercules! You see Vexy just like, oh, you bring me good Hydra meat, eh? Oh, yes, the Hydra head. One of the Hydra heads starts hissing up. Hercules bonks it quickly. Because, there's always the one immortal head. You see, he's like, good source, infinite meat source. Vexy just, oh, you bring me good Hydra meat, Hercules. I like you. Because if you can capture a Hydra, you get good meat. You see,
We're kidnapping the kid and taking
Troll
him to the
jerky.
sea, right? Like, we're not letting him run off the
Max just, we take the god with us.
Troll jerky.
Right?
Troll
Yes, thank you.
Infinite supply.
You see Hercules. This again. He's kind of like 17 at this point. Just like troll jerky. I've never tried troll jerky. Is
I'm
it good?
sure it's terrible.
But you see Vexy. Absolutely horrendous. You wanna buy some?
But it's technically infinite food.
You see Hercules drops us like, you guys come to Vexy.
Here's
This
a
is how
question.
I get my little pocket change. He takes a lot of the bodies I bring in.
Would Hercules know about dragon teeth and like their magical properties?
Oh!
You can ask him. How would you roleplay it?
I think just like seeing him being in the magic market, being like, hey, so speaking of this dragon carcass we brought in, I've been trying to figure out some of the magical properties of the teeth. Have you have any experience with that? You can feel a bunch of stuff, right?
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Okay. This is gonna be great. And I can't roll high, so it's probably
You can't
terrible.
roll.
Oh, that's not bad. But my insight's not great, so that's 16.
16. Hercules looks very like broken, blighted, and flustered. Just teeth, dragon teeth. You got dragon teeth, right? You're selling a dragon. Dragon? Oh gosh, Phil was saying you got Cadmus and Jason, and you plant the teeth, you cover in blood, you push it with, and then got it. And Hercules is gonna make a quick history. Make sure he tells you. If you plant the teeth, a bunch of guys will appear but fight anyone that arrives. There's no way, unless you like get them to kill each other, but then only the strongest survive and follow your order.
Could that woman control it?
Oh.
You see her ring?
Oh, hey.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
Don't
Hercules,
worry about
like,
it.
no.
We'll save the scary stuff for later.
But
We're
thank you,
going
that's
over
very
the
helpful.
Ring. Okay.
Do you
I
want
taught you a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, Mr. Incredible. You help a
Pretty
lot.
incredible.
You're pretty incredible.
Yeah. Check out my ring. I'm gonna try and
He
look
stole
through
it
his
from
eyes.
Orson.
Oh,
You see, in his eyes, I'll just tell you, you see just a straight up like teen just. That's a pretty cool ring.
Yeah, thanks.
It's like straight up, if I had a gal,
Because
sword,
fun
it's super
fact,
cool.
Hercules might have some demigod stuff that he's
Yeah.
immune to
We
things. I
kinda
mean,
figured,
yeah.
yeah.
that's fair though.
Hey, Herc, do you want to come with us? We're saving the world again. I made a sleepover.
Oh, that's fine. I think my cousin's currently like in a jar somewhere, so I've got a month or two.
I'm gonna take him by the ear and drag him.
Ow, 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 ow.
No, he said yes, people! He said his cousin's in a jar, so it's fine. So
Ow.
he's not coming to the sleepover.
Thank you, Miss Thumbelina. Ow, it's good to see you too. You should just.
Come on, Kate.
It's
Get
like.
a bit of a backbone. Don't let people walk
His
over you.
ears hanging on. But
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't know.
That was strong.
It's okay, Hercules. Come on. We're good. Let's go.
Cool.
have to sleep
I just have two questions. Who's the big scary night goblin thing? We're gonna like kind of time jump as you guys get onto the ship. Possibly, yes. It's just I have two questions, but of course the first one. Who are you? You guys are on the ship.
I love that he just had that ready to go about the dragon seed. That was
Awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Can we
Can I
have the
try to
sleepover?
steal anything that the two other rogues might have?
I'll see this.
That's so
Jim,
clever. Just
go
like,
ahead.
do it.
Because I don't know what they're stealing from us, so I'm just gonna try to steal
I'm
it
gonna
back.
say, Jim,
Cycle it through.
as these 2 days, as you guys are sailing, it is a constant. What you may think is, okay, I don't want them to take our stuff. You realize it becomes, though, this constant cycle of stealing, where you're like, whenever you find their hidey holes and like put stuff back, they find yours and put stuff. And so you spend a lot of the time on the ship. Both of it's like that spy versus spy feel of like.
Yeah, I would like to trap one at one point.
Go ahead, give me a sleight of hand.
Oh my God.
I think sleight of hand to make like a trap side.
Can I help him? Can I help him, please? Can I
No,
help him?
Well, actually, I have
'Cause
a
we'll get
question.
to that.
I want to have a conversation.
Because some of you guys want to do other stuff. I'll say you were already wanting to like investigate or like research on the ship.
Okay,
I guess we're
it's
clever.
just a 17.
Let's go talk
Just a
about
17.
the
I'll say one day you hear a loud bang below deck.
Yes.
Lance is sitting there.
Yeah, of
His
course
entire
he is.
face is covered in like pink bubbly goo. You see just
Bomb packages.
not back yet. You use a spring-loaded trap?
Kid,
Kid. Yeah, I'm talking to you, kid.
how old do you think I am?
Old enough not to realize this. Go ahead and roll me a dex saving throw. I made a roll for a trap, too.
Okay. I meant to hit that.
Yes, of course.
That is a 22 with evasion.
22. It not fully, because you quickly realize, you put your hand out of the way, and, like, a bit of your shoulder gets this, like, purplish, like, powder blast. As you, like, turn out of the way and realize this box next to you was booby-trapped. You sit down and just, like, say no word. I will
How
steal
loud
your
is
stuff.
You are all.
It's like line of people can, like, you guys eventually would walk down and see things. It's just one of those, like,
How close is it to the library?
oh, not, the library is in a much safer part of the
Okay.
ship on that,
So,
like,
if I'm hearing this, I'm gonna go over and yell at both of them.
yes, Meg.
Sorry, but just if this is the cycle that's going on for a while, this is something I'd eventually notice, and just once, just to like be that wild card, I want to like steal something from the thieves because they have this like hand, but then have that deception where they just think it's Jim because they're in this war.
Go ahead and roll me
Yes.
I need you to tell me what you would steal.
Well, it's like what's like
Or just anything. Okay.
yeah,
Go
what's-
ahead,
what's-
roll me
what's-
then a deception. We're both gonna roll insight.
Oh, by the way, before this is gonna be beautiful.
Right? No, we're good.
Okay.
I gotta be fair.
But
That's I'll get that, yeah. That's what you're doing.
Okay. Well, first of all, are you stealing from
Oh
both
my
of
gosh.
us?
No, she's taking like one thing that's in the rotation. So it's not like it's any one person. It could be one of their items. Like, because again, these are either like money or small trinkets. What'd you get though?
28 deception. This is Meg's character.
Where'd you put it? Listen, kid, I will kill you. Lance is like, no, let's calm down. But kid,
my knife back.
I'm going to let Lance hold you over the ship because we stole that knife fair and square, and like
Hey.
it's not fair to
You're
accuse
not-
someone
you're not-
that's been accused by an accuser.
Hey, I didn't. Where did the knife go? You had it last. I know you did.
Yeah,
And
honestly.
fun fact, you also had my great comb. And
shut
fun
up.
fact, I
This
think you
comb.
oh, that comb.
You want it? It's off the
I'll kill you! You just full out like brawl. It's not like initially, but you know, just that kind of like kick and punch.
The window slammed shut and I'm like, well, you guys just eat your stew.
One night, Thumbelina, like as you guys are fighting, it's literally as you cast sleep, you both like fall into each other's arms asleep. But like it's like you're cuddled into like Flynn's around you, and Lance is just like bear rugged on both of you asleep. One night.
All three of them in vulnerable positions.
I'm saying just
No, it's all good.
we're having fun with that.
Anybody else? I have a charcoal stick.
Here's what we're gonna do. Because I know a lot of people, here's what we're gonna need. Please roll me anyone who would be investigating or like researching the library. Roll me either your history checks, or it'd be history. Goliath, we're going to have your bit of what you remember.
I did
Nat
too.
20.
I did.
We'll just have an info dump for the
What did you get?
Goliath.
Sadness.
I
You
got
are
sadness.
sadness.
But I rolled earlier for something else.
So he's not.
Here we go. Scotch Highland. I knew I had it somewhere.
I'm just so glad that worked so well. That
I
was
rolled
so funny.
6.
Oh.
What did
And
you
it's
roll?
actually like 28. And
Here we go. Yep.
What did you roll for
they're
your
just my
insight?
entertainment.
I got a 25 because they're not bad. They're rogues, but like
6.
oh jeez. Well, so like they know it was still Goliath. You think back to ancient days, protecting your own little fiefs. It's a very sacred experience for the gargoyles. As you think back to these times, thinking back this legendary sword, you think of a day. You were sitting there, Demona and your second command by your side. The gargoyle never really had a name, but it makes you that pang of sadness inside, remembering seeing him pass, thinking of these better days. You had just finished an extensive battle, protecting against the castle. You remember, Demona just tails between their legs as the armies go. You see she gives you that kiss on the cheek as she walks back to, count the casualties. And your second just, right, well done there, Goliath. We really rattled them this time. Oh my, I think Yep, that's the leader there. Oh, you look. You remember about you cleanly lopped off the leader's left arm, and he's just like, right. You can see it. It's just lying there into the grass. Ah, dummy boy. No, not bad, not bad. Makes me look bad in my age, right? And you're just like, again, you've got a few minutes before dawn. You remember though, just this was an intensive fight. The leader, it was a good most fights, it's interesting. Fights actually aren't that long in wars, right? I mean, because it's hard to keep up that stamina. Goliath, it did come down to you and this leader though. You remember you both were fighting for a good hour, which is just very taxing, right? Like you're ready to turn to stone and just take a nap, basically. Because he just the way he could wield his sword was just absolutely uncanny, right? Just you see your second just that would be a good swordsman there, Goliath. You can't deny that.
Agreed.
I must ask. I'm a bit curious. Seems like a pretty good weapon, if you ask me. You see, just kind of taking that cue of all right. You both glide down onto the field. Lying there, hands still wrapped around. You see this sword shining in the grass. There we go. The blade seems to just shine. What you notice first, no blood speckles this blade. You see that it just seems to be this perfect shape. You take off the arm and have a bit of momentary whether it be that death throw or just maybe something else. It's hard to kind of pry the hand off. But when you get the sword, you kind of hold it in both hands. And it may be a trick of the light, or maybe you're just so tired. The blade almost seems to grow to become that right size for you.
Oh.
It just, as you're picking it, and it's well, I guess it was. He was just wielding this big blade. It makes sense, right? But as you see, it feels good in your hand. As you're holding this blade, I want you, it is still, I would like a wisdom saving throw, but it's not in a bad sense. Just this is a save that needs to be made.
9.
9. Goliath, you're a warrior and a leader. As you hold this blade, two thoughts come into your mind. With this, you can protect everyone forever. But there is, I'll say on a 9, there's something else there, a deeper feeling that as a warrior, you don't know what that could be. Something, whether it be magical or just psychological, in holding this blade, it doesn't feel right for you, even though it's right. The way you're able to hold it, kind of just see its length, judge it, perfectly weighted, just that right size, so it just extends your reach, basically. But there's just something deeper there that you're not sure what it could be. You see, you notice quickly gliding down Demona, or rather, your mate, as you know her, flies in just Goliath. Are we cleaning up the battlefield now?
Just taking a look at this sword.
She looks. Doesn't seem to be human made. Much too precise.
Mm-hmm. Where it could have come from.
I think from a soldier I was interrogating. They came from those northern lands. You've heard of the Moors?
Mm-hmm.
Elven.
Right.
Right. You see, she kind of draws a finger along the very edge of the blade, pulls it away quickly as it's drawn blood, just impressively, deviously sharp. It would be interesting to learn more about this blade, but the sun approaches. We must go.
Right.
What would you do with the sword then?
Ooh. I'd say probably put it around our perch.
Okay.
On top of the castle.
You put it on top of the castle. The next night,
It's just it's like holding it, and then it's like, good luck trying to get that away from like a stone guard.
Like, put it
Holding
under me.
Yeah.
Right.
Good
The
luck.
next night, when you awaken, as you just realize the sun has set, the sky that beautiful amber and purple, you look under you. The sword is not there. And two thoughts come to your mind. One, the only people that saw you with that sword were your mate and second. None else saw. And when you are in stone, it is actually very heavy to move you. Without, and think about it, you're still on your perch. This is one of those things where it's like, you get that kind of, not my realm, and to be fair, my realm is already pretty weird and magical, but whatever's in this blade, it vanished overnight. Probably best that I didn't try to keep it, or there's that kind of feel, because it has vanished. So what you remember, like thinking back, I'll say this is you, like on the deck of the ship, the night wind like going through your hair as you just sit very pensive, almost in that thinker statue pose, and thinking more about this sword and what it could be. A magical sword like that is found up north or from that area. Perhaps it didn't just go away on your nat 20. You think if it magically is bound somewhere and you didn't choose to get that deeper feeling, looking back, is I'd never made a conscious decision to, sheath it, to make it mine. It never was that. Because in the moment, how could you have known? And so that's what you can talk to Arthur about, but that's your full, just thinking back on this history of this blade, is I've seen it in battle, but there's something else there. And there's your, very impressive, just, I'll say you get a good backstory with that, because it's like a nat 20 is a nat 20.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are researching. I'll say Thumbelina and Rapunzel, you both got nat 20s. What was it, though, you again wanted to look for?
I told you that I would help you with whatever you have to research.
Well, because Hercules always already told us about the dragon cave, so I was just looking into the spell gems stuff.
Oh!
No, but
Well,
unbelievable.
So I'm still looking into like spell gems.
Actually, can I research Corona?
That's a good point.
Yes, you can.
Can I try to do it sneaky so that Lilith doesn't
I do
know
know
him?
that.
Oh,
You
and
got
Lily,
something to talk to.
filling in the rest of the message you get while traveling from Belle.
Oh.
Besides, Rapunzel is royalty. Adam alive is alive.
Okay.
Both doing well. Working on link to castle in France. Hope to see you soon. Love you.
Oh.
So then make sure she's like standing in the corner in her room or something.
Not cry.
Yeah. So Thumbelina.
So I am working on everyone's bangerangs.
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets a bangerang recharge.
Okay, I was gonna look up the horsemen, especially since, I was gonna look at the flag as well, but because it's but I was also gonna look at the death to see if there's anything that we need to know, because we're about to go meet the horsemen of death.
Here's what you get. Thumbelina. You, in looking at this, whole thing, in your research, on a natural 20, how do I want to do this? It's probably not the best old Scottish lullaby for this. You start researching. What you find immediately on Nat 20, there's no references to horsemen in the sense that you know them. It's something that's been used in a lot of different faith, religion, gods, of apocalypse, of horsemen. But mainly what you get is a horseman is someone chosen. It's this term denoted to one bringing destruction, one bringing this otherworldly terror. In looking at and researching the horsemen themselves, you learn a lot. You learn about how Hook, this scourge of Neverland, this man who his very existence breeds violence and destruction. He craves challenge. Makes sense. He's war. Ursula, in researching more about her, she is a terrifying creature that you get the impression, oh wow, we got rid of her in the nick of time. She's not just a mind flayer. She is a witch that deals with deals and treaties, and throughout history, even some of the princes have had encounter with her. What you get with Ursula too is she has a knack for understanding what people want. On Scar, you don't find anything. It's very hard, but in looking through on your sister, what you now know, and trying to find on a nat 20, you find old records of cults is the best word. People that worshipped your sister after her death for this idea of a turned fairy. Your sister became this gross ideological idea of death and life, of because destiny can't be. This was a pixie that was supposed to be the next queen of the fairies, and she didn't. What you also find in these cultists, you're not sure how valid these would be, but the cults worshipped her in tandem with Chernabog because, and again, this is something unclaimed, you don't know why, they claimed her as Chernabog's wife or consort. In this very gross, she became this consort, the Queen of Death, is what you find, this dark fairy. And it's a lot, but that's probably all you would find, even on that 20, right? And so it's a lot, but that's kind of those main, in each one.
Is there any mention of, how she became the Queen of Death, other than what is speculation?
A lot of speculation is, it's one of those, what you'd find in any cult is, she, danced with the devil in the pale moonlight, she sold her soul, she made a blood plaque. Some even weird cultists, they started dating. It's hard to pin down because, again,
it's more fan fiction than
anyone that would have actually known her doesn't. Because they'd be dead. Right? It's fanfic. But what you're finding, Thumbly, in it is, it's hard to pinpoint because no one really knew your sister
Is there
like you did.
Go to?
And
But even then, obviously, I didn't know her as well as I thought I did. So
Myth on myth.
yeah, dark. Just going down for Mr. Scrub, was there anything specific you wanted to do though while going through?
I just wanted to find out more about the ring.
The ring. We'll get to that. If you'd like to do this in person, we could do it. That's fine.
I wanted to specify not only Corona, but specifically the prophecy, especially.
What you find, Rapunzel, on the nat 20, very recent history, the Seven Kingdoms, to keep it fair, would go to oracles in the terms of, all right, who's next, right? Because again, each of them have this rule of Novus Lex, of a new generation. Because if the old generation knows, because the old generation knows the current system, they know the struggles, it'd be easy for them to unite under one rule, right? To trick the others into, haha, now we're all one kingdom, and I'm supreme. But by always having Novus Lex, always having a child, a new generation, there's just enough hope and trust to then be able to lead, right? To say, hey, by being Novus Lex, you found, there's been examples briefly of just random invading armies of the Wanty Huns that have tried, or even just creatures from other dimensions. It's easy enough for a Novus Lex of any of the seven, when they have been chosen by an oracle, to say, hey, and so that's what, when talking about prophecy, is it's always prophetic in the sense of it's this long-standing, whoever the oracle is chosen, almost keeping it fair. Because sometimes even it is the very next in line, sometimes it's not in certain kingdoms, because sometimes kingdoms don't have pure bloodline. Sometimes it's, they died without having any kids, and it's their second cousin, but it's always so that way it's a random draw of the hat. What you do find very clearly on Nat 20 is the oracle had chosen Corona to sire the next Novus Lex. The king and queen of Frederick and Ariana could not have children for the longest time. You find very little on that whole area of what happened, but eventually there was a daughter, and then immediately she was gone. And the kingdom, as in gone out, there's no records as to gone. That's all the official reports or anything you're finding is just gone. Because what makes it interesting then, the other six kingdoms immediately went to the oracle in a, well, great, new Novus Lex, they've lost their chance, and the Oracle wouldn't recount. The old Oracle. It was this, that I have decreed what I have decreed, and it became then this very sore, bitter subject. As in, it's now been a very uneasy, like, if there's no Novus Lex, we're ready to fight to death again.
Oh shit.
Because some people, it's like there's theories that, Frederick and Ariana bribed the Oracle to keep, right? Because they just wanted to keep that long-standing power. Some theories of there never really was a princess. It was just this whole it's like now this very tense situation in the Seven Kingdoms of, well, who should really be it? Because for any of us who are alive, yeah, if this princess is lost, or if she even existed, or if she's not already dead, how is it fair to, be this, like, that's, Novus Lex should pass. Why isn't it?
Because she's still alive.
Yes, because Rapunzel, and you're knowing, with Belle's, the Oracle is now found.
Spoken, and especially Belle.
I have spoken.
Lie. I
Yeah.
have spoken. Yes.
Mr. Incredible,
That's Disney.
do you want to do?
I also
Either way, up to you.
I think we can do this because this will be
Okay,
interesting.
cool.
Mr. Incredible, you go into your room. You're looking at this ring. What would you do to prepare to figure this out, if that makes sense? Is there anything you're doing to, like, try to help?
I mean, I figure Mr. Incredible, this might, like, he's not a cleric by any means. So he's just kind of doing things that he assumes that, like, Lilith would do.
No, this is secret. No.
So he's got like, I don't know, like
Maybe alcohol?
a little table or a nightstand or whatever. He's gonna set it up like an altar, put the ring on the altar, and he's just gonna start praying.
Okay.
To who?
Hey,
No
gang,
clue.
praying
Just
to anyone who will listen.
no, just
Oh, you got it there.
Oh, I don't like that.
Mr. Incredible, you feel as you just pray out and into this, like, I need help, I need the ring, I need anything.
I just need to
praying
understand.
to
I need to
Sauron?
understand. You start thinking, it's natural. When you're praying, your mind wanders.
Yeah.
Your mind makes connections. You think of, you see yourself holding Gazebeam and throwing him into the lasers. You see yourself in Alshish punching the eye and taking its eyeball. You see a lot of things. You see every fight you've had in the victories and the loss. You see moments where you're defeated by an enemy, like in moments where you've fallen in battle to Alshish and the pirates, where your body died, basically.
Yeah.
You hear a voice next to you. It's pretty badass. You look, intricate wrought iron helmet, red plumage. This guy has worked out every day of his life since he was a baby. You see no weapons by his side, but you get this aura of, yo, he doesn't even need a weapon, and if he does, that's even scarier. You know, I mean, Mr. Crow, you're not dumb. You realize you're in the presence of the god of war, Ares.
Okay. Can I do an insight check to see like what he's thinking about me?
Go for it, yeah.
Those are hard to read, though.
It's true.
Not 20.
Oh.
Oh.
Here's Mr. Incredible. You're looking at Ares. You see reflected in his face, and almost for a second, you could swear he even looks like Gazebeam. Because you see that pride. That very guttural, not bad, kid. You see, he kind of like sits on a bench in your cabin, just, listen, Robert. You're good. You're scary good.
Oh.
You know what it's like to get out there to find the war, to win. You have what it takes. That's some impressive crafting there. You know, my bastard half-brother, I mean, I don't know how much he could craft. I don't know if he even made that, but it's nice. Dudes that had it before you, not bad. But you're different. Because I think you get it, Robert. You really understand what it means to win. So I've got a deal. I mean, we're two of a kind.
That we are.
Have you ever thought of being a paladin there, Robert?
What?
You could be my man.
You're getting tricked.
I can help you with this ring and become
Gods can disguise themselves as other gods. You could be getting tricked right now.
I'll say no on a nat 20. You know, he already knows it's Ares. You,
Also, wars.
Robert, could be Mr. Incredible. No,
The incredible Mister.
the incredible man. The ultimate man. The ultimate warrior. You would become Spartan.
What's the catch?
I am technically then your boss. I help you decide where to go, but listen, kid, you hope it's not too big. You're delicious to me, man. You can't die. You've got the will to, and with that ring, the armies you could command, the war we could have, we'd be an unbeatable team.
You work alone.
Oh, but imagine.
But the last time you said that to him betrayed him.
Hey, August, can I make
Here's
a
what
check
I'll
to see
say.
if they're
On your
on
nat
that
20
side?
insight, I'm letting that kind of play through. This is what you're getting. In almost a metagaming sense, you would get a level in Paladin right now.
Ooh, that's
Like, it's like, because that's you. What also happens, though, your
Take the key.
the
Goodbye.
ring, like the ring that's on this altar here, you definitely feel this power. It will increase if you get Ares on your side.
Yeah.
If-
Figured it would.
Yeah.
Whatever Ares needs.
Whereas instead of maybe like a few, you could have armies. But here is the obvious thing. It is what you know. I mean, the only paladin you've ever really known was Gazerbeam. Paladins are all about oaths, right? You know, you make that oath. It's not like a warlock where it's a pact and there's a give-take. It's not like a cleric where I'm here to help you. It's you have sworn something, and it's kind of a... There's very little ways out. Not in a bad sense, but it's like, that's what you're willing to do.
I'll explain to him, you know, I'm out of a role model right now. The guy who made me who I am, I just killed him.
Dude, I saw every second, bro.
Dude,
The way
pretty
you
sick,
took
right?
him and just slammed him in, he felt it. You know, God of War, I feel battle pains with people. Oh, that was so good. You taught him a lesson. He swore an oath. Listen, I mean, now I know I'm not a role model god. We gods don't like it when you Ordos take oaths and break it. So the dude had it coming. He was a paladin, broke himself, bro.
What would you say if I accepted this deal, but instead of necessarily like bending to your every need, and everything, I was able to, you know, use my influence to increase your following.
Hey, man. Good soldiers know how to think for themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So, here's what you can become the Spartan. Mr. Incredible, the Spartan man. You're a paladin preaching the good name of war.
I like the sound of that. Okay.
You feel a burning, glowing sensation. Your super suit, you watch as red begins to come across the blue fading away.
Like
The
is he
ring,
still there?
you as you put the ring on, he does disappear, but you feel that like, kid, we're gonna be great. As this very low thunder just echoes through the night sky. Most of you kind of like, oh, is there a storm nearby? Like, I wouldn't say it's not coming from inside your room. As you now, Red Sue, just feel this ultimate power. Go ahead, level up, and take a level in Paladin there, my
Can I
friend.
get down this door because I feel like somebody's
No, you can't.
Why not? Can I make an insight check?
Because there's some godly influence.
Into this.
I'm just going to say this. Ares doesn't want to be interrupted because he knows there's warlocks and clerics on the ship. This is
Not to mention Hercules.
and Hercules, like, this is a
Yeah.
private meeting, guys. Like, he's not that he doesn't like you guys. Ares kind of likes all of you for the kind of violence you enact.
Do I get a library turn though?
Yes, you do. I'm getting there. Sorry, that was just one of those because I realized it's fun to do.
Very fun.
So there you go, Mr. Incredible. Have fun with that. I'm excited. Woo, baby.
August
Yeah.
was more scary, him or me?
If I had to be perfectly honest, anyone in the party right now, still Rapunzel.
I thought it would be Thumbelina. With
I
all
didn't
her-
know that. Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, you two right now are getting stacked.
You are
Like, it's
pretty
fun.
terrifying.
Rapunzel's probably the one that terrifies me the most, right? And
She
okay,
go crazy.
you terrify me all equally. It's like a parrot, right? Like, I love all my children.
You know
All my children terrify me.
what?
No.
It was actually the cutest thing when
It's
this
the
poor
bangs,
little
but
14-year-old
specifics.
king is like, you guys are all
Okay.
very
Because
scary.
I do be a nerd
But at
about
the same time, he's like,
stuff.
Okay.
but like with that
I
awe
did
and
stuff.
like, okay,
Yeah.
you're learning about the scary ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there is.
Oh,
I
calm.
just love Flynn.
Okay.
It's like, you're Mr.
Oh,
Demon Man,
Clem,
who I
I'll
don't
let
want
you
haunting my
stop.
dreams.
All right.
anymore.
So Meg, what is the stuff you're gonna study up?
Okay, yeah, so if possible, I would like to look for two things. Because I'm still trying to figure out how to access some spell beads. Like, I want to figure out how to put some spells in some gems.
Okay.
But, because we were talking about the dragon's teeth and, like, planting them with Hercules and everything, and then Mr. Incredible said that thing about, like, oh, but then could I control them with the ring? I want to figure out, would that be viable? To, like, we plant these teeth, and then he just has that ring to control.
Did you already roll a history check yet?
Does it have to be history?
It does, because this
Okay,
is
I
a
rolled it,
studying
and it was
kind
a
of thing.
14.
On a 14, Meg, you get the strong impression. Or strong impression is not the right word. In your studies, what you're finding immediately is to find a gem caster. Not hard, but they are always wanted by people.
Mm-hmm.
What you'd find right now is there's a lot of gemcasters in study-wise. Probably in your Agrabah is what you're finding. There's a lot of just like, it's that old, very like classic, hey, gem and magic and like earth and like nature in this
space rock.
space rocks. No, in Agrabah, it's a very common thing. So like that's where you're gonna find the most population. Again, you're not gonna find them in Sumani with new stuff because this is old magic is what you're finding on a 14. And to get like that kind of power, probably Agrabah, or even like, if you ask around, there's a possibility. You never know like which kingdom, because again, this world is still a kingdom of, hey, I want a jester, I want a wizard, people can fill their courts, so it never hurts to ask. What you find with those teeth, Meg, you find kind of what Hercules was saying, how when these, the dragon warriors are born out of the teeth, they are just immediate chaos and destruction. And, like these tales tell of old heroes, they had to distract them with, powerful, jewels and stuff and made them fight among themselves. So when only the strongest remained, who were the most level-headed, then they could know. You could ask, though, Mr. Incredible and go knock on his door and talk to him and see if he has anything that could, like, help or if he has any ideas.
Yeah, I'll go talk to him.
Cool. Mr. Incredible, you're standing there, full red suit,
And, like, in front of
knock
the
on the
mirror,
door.
flexing, like
Because again, it like sheens. It's that like golden red, right? It's not just like that. Ooh, it's a neon. It's like golden red, like still your like scalish kind of like armor, so it feels very like Greco-Roman in that like, oh yeah. And there's a knock at your door.
is there a peephole?
There is, yeah, like each one. And you look out. Meg's standing there holding a couple books.
I'll open it up, confused.
You kind of like do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Do I
changing,
see the new
I'm changing in here.
Jay, so Meg, I don't think you would immediately notice.
You could have waited. I get dressed, but then we need to talk. I've got some plans for the war.
I'll just open the door.
You have to, Meg.
I'm not that prudish guy.
I would say, yeah, Meg's the kind of person who's like, all right, oh, you do knows what brings that O to your mouth is Mr. Incredible is now wearing this, like, golden red armor. Like, his super suit is now this bloody golden red. Evelina, are you here? Okay.
I thought something a little more very like, oh, new suit.
Yeah, brand new actually.
Goliath's gonna walk by.
Had to give you
I
that.
like the new suit.
Like the suit. Like just, I'll say, like, maybe Arthur, because you guys he probably wants to
Yeah.
train with you when you're away.
Jim's looking for some stuff. He's like, oh, hey, new suit.
New suit.
I probably would ask you
I
that,
walk
but
by, I'm like,
Okay.
you look ugly.
Yeah, so
Well, that was rude.
had to give you that.
I
It's-
mean,
it's like
Edna
he's a
is
walking
the
red.
exclusive distributor of super suits.
You
How did
better
you get in
hope
touch
to
with
the gods she never finds out
Yeah.
about this. Like,
She will
and
kill you.
She-
That's clever because he technically didn't tell a lie,
Yeah.
so I can't even like see.
Yep.
Looks good.
I will say, still give me a little deception roll because it's
Okay.
not a full truth. I
Do
mean,
I post that with insight?
this is your passive
Technically,
insight.
it is a full truth. He didn't lie.
But,
But
like,
it's
the
a deception in the
a
misdirection
9.
kind of way.
I'll say it's just like you get that vibe of okay, he's being weird, but you're not sure if like it matters right now. It's not a.
Looks good. Anyway, remember what Hercules was telling us about the Dragon Teeth Army?
I do remember.
So they're uncontrollable, but you got some stuff in that ring, right? Like you were controlling those zombies.
I can
Do you
definitely
think,
control
like,
something, right?
Can we
Can I
figure out
roll?
if there's like some sort of arcana or even religion or like what?
Mr.
Dragon
Incredible,
Teeth
you get a
Teeth
little
is
voice in your head
possible?
now. You've gotta,
Oh.
Okay.
just kid. They've got dragon's teeth up in here.
Dude, of course
Yo.
we do.
Can
You
you
just
not
hear
give away
him?
all of our secrets
Listen,
to another
man.
TV?
You're not
Yes.
like.
Like,
I'll just say this, kid. You're not up and up with gods and how time works, but think of SEAL Team 6. That means nothing to Mr. Incredible. He's like, yo,
Wait,
no.
Eventually,
With
America
my
becomes
power
a
in
thing
that
for you?
ring with you you can control
I can control him.
Excellent.
him. Meg just like, no. All right, cool.
Meg's like, can you control him? 5 minutes later. Yeah, I can do
You
that.
just
Yeah,
think.
but sense that, like he
Staring at the
checked or
ground.
whatever to figure
Yeah,
out
because I will say it's more like you're looking at the ring. So Meg,
I'm
it
convinced
doesn't
he
look
figured it
like
out.
very awkward, but
Yeah.
like maybe just he thinks he can.
Yeah, I'll accept that. That's the plan then.
Mission Incredible, you get is like, listen, all you have to do, plow the earth, plant the seeds. They do require blood. Doesn't really matter whose. But
Mark doesn't have a supply of blood anymore.
then you got your warriors. 1 warrior per tooth.
I have 10, but didn't Lilith have some as well?
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
like
there
when
was
we
what?
get
There was
there,
like
we'll
50
probably
total?
Uh,
I think we took
there were
30.
there were
30.
in total in the mouth there were 60 teeth, and they both took 10. You actually still had 40 teeth. That as of right now are down in the hold, so you
Yeah.
have 40 more
So
teeth.
we have the full 60 teeth with us on the ship. We could have this army of 60.
I'll let them know. Based on what I've read and looked into, I can get one.
Liar.
I can get one.
In fact, because it's Meg, I might want to keep my 10 then, just for like, if I can just chuck some out and do like a battle if I needed to cause a distraction or something.
All right,
Yeah.
and you could
It's
still
something
give.
that would be helpful, but just use that whole of 40. Like that's
And
good
Lily, you wouldn't
for-
have to give up
I
yours
take my
either.
teeth. Yeah, you probably not use them.
Yeah. I'll
Nice,
let
so
her
that's
know.
50.
Like while you're just right there, I'll just say I can get 1 warrior per tooth. We just need to, plow up the soil, plant them, and we need to water it with. I mean, it's a little odd, but some blood. nothing
Yeah,
big.
I think Hercules mentioned that, and the books as well. I've
Yeah,
got a
so-
pretty good idea how that.
Hercules walks by, getting ready to go train with Goliath
Hey,
and
he can
Arthur.
control
Huh?
the skeleton warriors you're telling us about with his war ring.
Wait a second, can I do an insight check?
You got a war ring?
I mean,
Yeah, he took the ring of war. Why didn't you take it off?
Why you got
Because it's
the?
helpful.
Well, okay, but also isn't that a part of the thing
Hercules
we're trying to get rid
raises
of?
his hand. I'm not smart,
I know.
Oh, God.
but
That was a little rude to talk.
having trained with godly knowledge,
Yeah.
Colchian soldiers, dragon soldiers, aren't controllable. Are you sure you can just?
Positive.
Hey, insight check, religion. Because I'm thinking, like, there's only some
I
other
will say
power that
this:
allows
you
me
have to give
that.
me an insight with disadvantage. You don't know what power. It's because
I
again.
read up on Greek mythology. I
Well,
know
yeah,
this one.
uh,
but like,
not
to,
to
make,
about-
to make that jump is kind of
It's-
a
it's-
big...
As a cleric,
it's a-
to think, what other power would allow
But
them
the
to
thing is,
do
you
But
only
you're
get
just
bonus
thinking. No, what I'd say is it's more of a
artifice until you left Neverland.
Taking the 12, this is an insight?
insight.
Okay. Insight. 12
I have the
plus
DC
5
set
plus 4.
because you're proficient in insight. You have a very strong feeling there could be a godly influence. But Lily, here's what I'll say on that high of an insight. And I mean this: being a cleric, this isn't like a warlock or a cleric. get that, but it could be Paladin, could be something, or it could just be like in this world, people can like gain godly favors. Like I mean, look at Hercules. He is just a dude. Like it's not like he's a paladin, right? Like you can have like allegiance or like support. Like I mean, Hercules definitely has the big guy in his corner, but like but Lilith, you kind of get that know and vibe off of. And I will say, with your Asmodean trait, which you already have, you feel that power.
Yeah.
So, but those are just those things. But like with the high enough insight, you do know you don't know if it's like worth like.
Okay.
It's just something to keep on your radar. I'll say.
Okay.
So my question then, when I hear these two things, it's like, my first impulse was to like trust Mr. Good. Like, yeah, I'm sure he's confident enough to figure this out. But then like Hercules is kind of like the knowledge boy, like being decided for God and all this stuff. And so for him to be so unsure about it, like which end of the spectrum do I trust? Is like maybe we plant one and see if you can
I'm
really
gonna say
control
this.
it, and then
That's something you
where do I
have to
follow it?
choose.
Okay,
Like that's
I
me
can't be,
being
like,
mean as a
it's
DM. Like
okay.
it's Hercules versus Mr. Incredible, and so like you like as players have to say who do you trust?
In
Like
that case, I think Meg would probably say maybe we do like a test batch, like plant one and make sure you can control it.
Can I
and then
control like anything dead in the sea right now with this?
you're flying over the sky right now.
Oh,
This is flying. Sorry, and I should have resent out the map. This is flying overland from Sumani up to the Seven
Well,
Kingdoms.
it's not just like we know you can control stuff. It's just you pointing out these are like these
Yeah.
very
Oh,
chaotic
okay,
creatures. They're specifically to focus.
And you see
so
her just.
maybe we do a test batch.
We can do a test when we land. I'm gonna go hit training because again, Goliath sleeps during the day and it's awkward on my sleep schedule. Bye guys.
Thanks, guys.
Goliath, you're having fun. I mean, this is just kind of like training with her. Hercules definitely is matching and is more powerful than you and blows, but it's fun because it's like this, like, oh sweet, oh this is like a very warrior soldier. Like, all right, let's spar.
Mm-hmm.
Can Meg also spar with Arthur though? Because I saw Goliath fight. the king,
Do you
and I
want
really
to spar too?
want to.
Arthur, if you're sparring, while sparring, every so often Arthur looks at you, Goliath, and does that very obvious. Go ahead and roll me a perception, see if you would notice.
Also, what is
That one,
can I like go and bake something to welcome Arthur to the group? Like
Oh, definitely.
I never done that.
This is like a 2-day journey.
he's
Like
an adorable little kid.
I like. So we're the Imagineers, but I was like. It's weird because we just kind of tagged along with the group. Are we now Imagineers?
I will say Arthur can do like literally like after a spar, like if you're walking, just like oh yeah, hey like you're a knight.
Cool.
Yeah, just tell people you know me. You seem cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 17 perception.
Arthur doesn't want you to be around, but it's not just you. You realize Arthur wants to be alone with Goliath? Because you definitely see those, like... Arthur's not a subtle dude when it comes to being sneaky and lying.
I'm gonna very
And
pointedly
he's
like
not
look between the two of them and say, "You boys got something to not share with the class?"
Goliath's helping me with my growing
Oh,
as a knight. As a knight, he's just like put the single hand. Everyone walking by, anyone can hear this. You just my training night.
Top, right? We can give them some privacy.
I'll
As I like,
walk up to
point
Arthur.
fingers, and we're just all leaning
Look,
smart.
if he needs to talk, at least I'm human.
I'm just gonna
I'll say this: most of the like girls, like I would just like pour it out, but Mr. Colonel Jim and Bruce,
I can help you with throwing.
you see, I made this worse. I made this worse. Most anyone who is a girl probably would have left, and so it's just the guys awkwardly, literally a bunch of sweaty guys, and Trey just like, listen, Arthur,
Okay.
like.
No.
Hercules, I'm still going through. Like, I'm only 17.
Where are
I-
Flint
I,
Lance
like,
too?
Flynn Lance, fun fact, they're doing stuff because,
Okay.
you know, that you guys have a grudge feud going on. At one point, Arthur just like, no, I'm not. I get puberty. Merlin showed me this really weird futuristic video. I get it. It's all about my
Stop!
It's not. I know. I just trying to make it better. It's my secret mission, and you're not supposed to know, but it's not puberty.
Interesting.
So let's talk about secret missions.
Yeah, come on.
You see Arthur just like covers it. He's like, I'm not a good
Okay,
king.
guys, go.
Lily, no, this was Lily. Lily, I'm putting it like this for you. You've been
I
around Peter and the
walked in
Lost
and then
Boys. And not again.
Can I get these trees before I leave?
Yes.
As I go,
You see,
I ventured. I'm like, I can't do this again.
you see, Arthur just sits there. It's like, okay, guys, fine.
Okay, guys club.
I'm not great at secrets, and just stop telling people. Like, I'm looking for something to help me with my training. It's a weapon, but you can't tell people, okay? Because in the wrong hands, we're all dead. That's all I know.
Wait,
It's just-
so the guys all get to know the secret?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
That's so, we have a sexist game.
Wait, can I
If
be
you'd stuck
listening
around,
at
you
the
would've
door
known this
because
was
I
your fault, you
genuinely
left.
probably know nothing about human puberty.
Somebody's more like, I'm curious.
But-
Like, not like it's more like I have no clue what humans are. So
Thumbelina starts. I just like put a shoulder on Thumbelina's like, well, turn around. We're gonna go to the kitchen and eat bread.
Wait, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about secret missions. Secrets?
suddenly, I'm gonna say this while you're all sitting there. At one point, you feel the heavier shoulders of Flynn and Lance. Like, what's the hot goss? I'm sorry. So everyone's now going to listen on secret. Hot goss. You see Arthur just okay. You can't tell anyone. This doesn't leave this room, and everyone on the ship nods. So Goliath. Merlin asked me to talk to Goliath because he might know the whereabouts of. What you called it Excalibur.
Excalibur.
This is very lovely.
Excalibur. Like, but again, you guys don't know, and it's just something where it's like I'm trying to find it. I don't know, and so I was wondering because did you remember anything that could have helped, man?
I would say it's most likely in the moors.
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
I would know
Jim,
nothing.
you get to Jim and Mr.
Okay.
Incredible. History checks on that.
Wait, do we all get to run history checks instead?
No, just those two.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
Maybe if we're getting like glimpses and pieces of.
You guys are like, this is immediately turned into.
Oh wow. 19.
Both of you, the Moors was the closest kingdom to that area on the map. When you saw Scar's army going up near there,
That's what
and so you see, okay, well that doesn't really narrow it down. There's a lot of kingdoms up there.
So, we may have some competition searching for this. Pull out the map.
Yep.
Okay. So, like, you see, like, so is this like?
This is the general area of the Moors. This is
Okay.
also the general area of where our enemies are right now, for no particular reason.
I may not be a great king right now, but I'm not an idiot. Yeah, I get it. You see Herc just kind of sitting there, just like, but hey, a super dope weapon could help in a fight.
Yeah.
He looks around.
It could also really hurt.
You see Arthur just, that's my nightmares. Just kind of nodding, just, yeah. You see Hercules kind of looks at Goliath and Mr. Incredible, just you three, just like, I mean, if we were to go help get this, you see, all of you need to roll me perception checks. Anyone listening in, that includes Flynn and Lance.
Do I need to?
No, you're here. This is Hercules is specifically about to lower his voice and try. It's like a stealth thing he's trying to talk to.
Hey, August, you know how I have not only that proficiency of +5 +4?
You're-
I rolled in at 20.
Yeah, you're good. So did Flynn and Lance are now acting this out for you guys in puppets. You see Lance just, I've been making puppets of all of you, and just like holds up little like sock. I don't judge your habits, creepy lady.
It doesn't help that I keep stealing it.
Oh, no, you guys are very into this. I'm gonna say this is Hercules. So like, something that it's a cool little thing with my powers from my dad. I might be able to like. I can't do it like it's like a one a day thing, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, we could just. Cause like no, okay, but like no, okay, but like should we tell the girls? Cause I feel like okay. Because you guys watch Arthur.
I'm gonna knock. Hey!
I have hair in places I don't like. Arthur says this full loud. Just.
I Hercules. I'm just like, we're going now.
Okay, no, I'm gonna cast minor illusion and just show their entire conversation. Be like, I really want to like try to.
Arthur, it's just.
No, the door's closed. It was locked. Okay.
Well, yeah, but you, I mean, and
How many of those are out here?
I was gonna say Flynn and Lance also are there. You guys can all enter in. You see her just. Oh man, I feel bad. Arthur's just sitting here, kind of like quiet with his arms folded. How's this roleplay?
Understanding secret missions, sure, but we work as a team here.
And if there's some pretty cool, fun, fancy items, I want in on this.
Okay, but here's the thing, guys. We can split up and be just fine. So I'm not opposed to them splitting off and doing their own mission.
It was just
But we would just like to know.
Yeah, you need to tell us.
And like, so that way, if something
can
were to
have
happen, we
Just
can.
the princesses who go off on princess trips all the time.
Yeah.
Oh!
All right, enough. You guys see, with power and authority, Arthur has raised his fist. Here's what's gonna happen.
Good job.
I'm gonna take Mr. Incredible, Goliath, Hercules, and Jim, and we're gonna go find Excalibur.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm gonna go to my room to think. You can tell he's about to cry because this is just that like, oh man, I'm being like very assertive and he's not used to it. Just thank you. I might go to the kitchen first. I'm very thirsty. We were just working out. Oh,
I give him a flash on the way.
thank you. And Arthur like quick steps out of the room.
Very subtly, just look like complimented. Like, yes, that was very like.
I give him a bless on the way out and a thumbs up.
It's just the rest of you are sitting here. The King of Magentia having just left, kind of like.
So hear me out as a vote. When he's not here, obviously, like I feel like he should be in charge. But Rapunzel.
We weren't talking about puberty, guys. I'm sorry. I feel obligated
we got
to.
that. We're
Yeah,
not.
no, we got that.
I'm
We got
sorry,
that.
ma'am.
That's interesting.
Ma'am.
But, like, hear me out.
Meg, ma'am, Meg.
Stop calling me ma'am.
Eh?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Meg.
in favor of Rapunzel being like when Arthur isn't here.
Arthur
She
wasn't
has
in
the
control
shut
in
up
the
voice.
first place anyway.
Arthur is just.
He is
I mean, Arthur
technically
is
should
the
be,
king, but it's like for you guys, this is like an order of the imagination. Who's the like?
But I am the captain of the ship.
No.
Oh heck
So-
no! Oh, our ship. You're like a stowaway.
Yeah, where do you come from?
I have been officially knighted.
This is my ship.
Hercules, I think I got knighted like yesterday before breakfast too. Like I don't know. Yes.
We should have Pascal as the order, like as the leader, because
And I'm the only one who
I was
knows what
thinking
he
you're
knows
gonna take
what
a
Pascal
book
is saying.
From Pascal.
You think what?
Oh my gosh.
Why is that? You're
Drive
doing
to
what
have
to
a
Pascal?
Then
Because we tend to argue a lot, and if
Dude,
we're
I will
fighting
kill
a giant
you.
battle, and obviously Arthur is going through a lot right now, so obviously there's a lot of pressure. So for our
No
orders
trust.
specifically, I think would help to have
That's
a de
scary.
facto. Because honestly, guys, think about it. Belle and Adam really kept us in check, and now they're gone.
You see Herc just like. To be fair, Rapunzel, you're kind of the nicest one here too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're really nice to me. And Lily might be right. I mean, we're all very headstrong, and if we're about to fight an army, I can honestly say I've never fought an army. I'm kind of the I don't know. I feel kind of like a call guy, if you know what I mean. People just like call me, show up with money.
Never mind.
Well, guys, where they call them to talk, right? You know, like yeah, you
That
show
makes sense.
you show up and they just want to talk
No,
to you.
why
and
don't
just
you
do
know
things.
that that's what that means? Brothel all over again.
It's like soup.
It's like soup.
Brothel is soup.
Moving on.
Moving on. You see her just. I would cast my vote for Rapunzel.
Cool. Mine's
Nice.
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel just no.
Because listen, Rat, besides like Belle and Adam, you were the like next person to keep people in check. Also, have been on this whole thing the longest, and also, you know what? I'm gonna admit it. My hubris is a thing. Also, I'm 15.
You see.
I go
You're
over
the
to,
adult.
to Goliath sneakily. I was like, so mutiny?
If
You see
that was
Flynn.
what-
Flynn raised his hand. You know, as the novice
You don't get a
leaks,
vote.
and it's okay.
Otherwise, just gonna smack him with his wing.
Now stop it, okay? Don't mess with the goods.
I'm
gonna
gonna
do it again.
pick
No!
him. While he's distracted.
I'll say yeah. You grab something. It's not the knife though, and so you're like, "Where's the knife?"
You know we're gonna do our own thing, but you have that clout.
I feel like ultimately, if you tell us to do something, we'll do it.
Or
I
we
know
can
I
just
will.
do majority.
You're the one that we're
votes and
most
call it
likely
good,
to
and
all.
We could vote.
agree.
Okay, you see Hertz just like, yeah, I agree with Thumbelina. Does anyone else want to like volunteer? We could vote.
I like Rapunzel more than some of you other guys. So
Right, like if you have to listen to someone,
it
I'd rather
would be
her.
Rapunzel.
All right, all right.
I'm good with Rapunzel.
Everyone in favor of Rapunzel?
I guess.
Pascal raise.
Y'all literally put a crazy person in charge.
Well, that's what you have each other.
Welcome to the Order of the Imagineers, everybody.
Rapunzel, if you're worried about going insane,
She
because
is
this is a
literally-
legitimate issue, then have a second in command. Who would take charge in the case of you going
Captain of the
insane.
ship.
Hey,
Someone who can get me out of crazy mode? Yeah, it's like
Lily's always been this like the orderly that like has that clerical magic to like heal her.
But
I
then,
mean, that's
when
fair,
they get
'cause
out
I
of control,
have the
that's the
magic
point
to
of
get
the rest
out
of them
of
to
that.
be like, no,
Like,
you don't
in
get
this
to.
whole party, Lilith is the only one who can get me out of crazy mode without knocking me out.
Yeah.
You see, as you
I've
all
never even seen Crazy Mode.
Crazy mode's insane.
We don't want
Yeah,
it. Actually,
Crazy mode is insane.
Yep, I almost
Yeah.
killed Adam.
Yeah.
right.
And Adam is like.
I would say this-
But didn't you go into crazy mode when we killed the beholder?
That's true.
different time, but and so you guys would still kind of remember
like
that because again, timelines aren't like
Kinda like
perfect in
that.
memories. What I'll say is, you guys are all sitting here. Rapunzel, you feel this like new burden on you. I mean, being told you're royalty, now the head of Imagineers. You feel this as you all stand there on the deck. You quickly you hear footsteps. Arthur comes back in.
Face kind of red.
Face is right, just like panting. Just we've arrived at the Seven Kingdoms, and you're gonna want to see this. As you all come up above deck, you see these kingdoms all like close enough, right? From this bird's eye view. Below you on the ground is hordes upon hordes of gnoll and skeleton. You see these undead mixed in with these hyena goblin. You see leading them is four things you all know. You see a ship quite like yours flying close to the
Would we have
ground.
time to turn the ship invisible before
This
we're
is
spotted?
I'm getting to this. That's a fair question because you see a ship like yours flying the Jolly Roger flag skull and crossbones. You see pulled in a chariot by just horses, the same slightly orange tabaxi. Some dark thing moving with tentacles moving across the ground, and Thumbelina, you see your sister Moonbeam with a skeleton behind her waving a white flag of truce as they march forwards towards Corona. You realize you will make it to Corona first. Like, it's one of those, like, it's still ways away. They are marching, like, army marching, they'll have some time, so you'll get there first and have time to do stuff. But eventually they will be upon the Seven Kingdoms as well. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session.
Nice. We're going full scale battle.
Thank you all so much, everyone, for watching. Anyone that joined the stream. We love you all, and get ready for next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.